All right, so hey, that's too much though, my yaya. That was too much. Had a whole man twerking down there. Hey yo, who wants to come up and help read though? Scotty, you said you want to read, or you busy? All right, bet. I'm gonna hit this so far, y'all. Don't laugh if I squidward this shit again. I'm gonna start doing this before every reading. Yeah, got it that time. All right, we about to start chapter 56. This is the last portion of Isaiah. Then after this, we going to Jeremiah. All right, Isaiah 56. Thus said Yah, observe justice and perform righteousness, for my salvation is soon to come, and my righteousness to be revealed. Praiseworthy is the man who does this, and the person who grasps it tightly, who guards the Shabbat against desecration and guards his hand against doing any evil. Hold up, hold up. He said, who guards the Shabbat. Where Isaac at? I know you wanted to hear that one. Anyway, y'all, getting off topic. That's just for people who say we're not supposed to follow Shabbat. All right. Let not the foreigner who has joined himself to Yah speak, saying, Yah will utterly separate me from his people. And now let the barren one say, behold, I am a shriveled tree. For thus saith Yah to the barren ones who observe my Shabbats, and choose what I desire, and grasp my covenant tightly. In my house and within my walls I will give them a place of honor and renown, which is better than sons and daughters. Eternal renown will I give each one, which will never be terminated. And the foreigners who join themselves to Yah to serve him, and to love the name of Yah, to become servants unto him, all who guard the Shabbat against desecration and grasp my covenant tightly, I will bring them to my holy mountain, and I will gladden them in my house of prayer. Their elevation offerings and their feast offerings will find favor on my altar. For my house will be called a house of prayer for all the peoples. The word of my Adonai, Yahweh Elohim, who gathers in the dispersed of Yasharal, I shall gather to him even more than those already gathered to him. All beasts of the field come to eat, all the beasts in the forest. Their watchmen are blind, they do not comprehend. They are all dumb dogs who cannot bark, who doze off and lie down and love to sleep. And the dogs are greedy, they do not know satiation. These are the shepherds who cannot understand. They have all gone off on their own ways, each from his own corner, for his own dishonest gain, saying, Come, I will get wine, and we will guzzle liquor together. And tomorrow will also be like this, and even much greater. 57. The righteous ones perish, and no man takes it to heart. Men of kindness are gathered in with no one understanding that because of the impending evil, the righteous one was gathered in. He will come in peace. They will rest on their resting places, he who walks in his integrity. And now come close, you children of witchcraft, seed of the adulterer and the adulteress. In whom do you take delight? Against whom do you open wide a mouth and stick out a tongue? Are you not children of sin, seed of falsehood, you who indulge your lusts at the elm trees? Salah. Under every leafy tree, who slaughter children in the valleys, under the crags of the rocks? Smooth stones of the riverbed are your portion. Only they are your lot. Even to them have you poured out libation and offered up meal offering. Can I relent regarding these deeds? On the high lofty mountain you have set up your bed. Even there you went up to slaughter and sacrifice. Behind the door and the doorpost you placed your remembrance idol. For you exiled yourself from me and rose up from beside me. You expanded your bed and you made covenants with them for yourself whenever you saw a place to demonstrate your love. You sent a tribute of oil to the king and prepared numerous spice mixtures for him. You dispatched your agents afar and you demeaned yourself as low as the grave. I'm skipped. You wearied yourself with the length of your journey. You did not say, I am discouraged. You found your source of strength and therefore did not become ill. Whom did you whom did you dread and fear? That you should have been deceitful to me. You did not remember me. You did not take me to your heart. Behold, I have been silent, as always, but you did not fear me. I proclaim how you should be righteous and what deeds you should do, but they will not avail you. When you cry out, let your cohorts rescue you. But the wind will carry them all off. Nothingness will take them. But the one who trusts in me will have a portion in the earth and will inherit my holy mountain. He will say, pave, pave, clear the road, remove the obstacle from my people's path. For thus said the exalted one, the exalted and uplifted one, who abides forever, and whose name is holy. I abide in exaltedness and holiness, but I am with the despondent and lowly of spirit, to revive the spirit of the lowly, and to revive the heart of the despondent. For not forever will I contend, nor will I be eternally wrathful, when the spirit that envelops them is from me, and I made their souls. I became angry because of his sinful thievery. I struck him, I hid myself, and became angry, because he continued waywardly in the path of his heart. But when I see his contrite ways, I will heal him. I will guide him and recompense him and his mourners with consolations. I create the speech of the lips. Peace, peace for the far and near, say Yah, and I will heal him. But the wicked will be like the driven sea that cannot rest, and whose waters disgorge mire and mud. There is no peace, said my Elohim, for the wicked. Shalom, Hazel. We're on chapter 58 now. All right, 58. Cry out vociferously. Do not restrain yourself. Raise your voice like a shofar. Proclaim to my people their willful sins, to the house of Jacob their transgressions. They seek me every day and desire to know my ways, like a nation that acts righteously and has not forsaken the justice of its Elohim. They inquire of me about the laws of justice, as if they desire the nearness of Elohim, asking, why did we fast and you did not see? Why did we afflict our souls and you did not know? Behold, on your fast day, you seek out personal gain, and you extort all your debts, because you fast for grievance and strife, to strike each other with a wicked fist. You do not fast as befits this day, to make your voice heard above. Can such be the fast I choose, a day when man merely afflicts himself? Can it be merely bowing one's head like a bulrush and spreading a mattress of sackcloth and ashes? Do you call this a fast and a day of favor to Yah? Surely this is the fast I choose, to break open the shackles of wickedness, to undo the bonds of injustice, and to let the oppressed go free, and annul all perversion. Surely you should break your bread for the hungry, and bring the moaning poor to your home. When you see a naked person, clothe him, and do not hide yourself from your kin. Then your light will burst out like the dawn, and your healing will speedily sprout. Your righteous deed will precede you, and the glory of Yah will gather you in. Then you will call, and Yah will respond. You will cry out, and he will say, here I am. If you remove from your midst perversion, finger pointing, and evil speech. And that gotta be highlighted, y'all, because that goes on a lot, for real. Remove from your midst perversion, finger pointing, and evil speech, and offer your soul to the hungry, and satisfy the afflicted soul. Then your light will shine even in the darkness, and your deepest gloom will be like the moon. Then Yah will guide you always, sate your soul in times of drought, and strengthen your bones. And you will be like a well-watered garden and a spring of water whose waters never fail. Ancient ruins will be rebuilt through you, and you will restore generations' old foundations. And they will call you repairer of the breach and restorer of paths for habitation. If you refrain your foot because it is Shabbat, refrain from accomplishing your own desires on my holy day. If you proclaim the Shabbat's delight and the holy day of Yah honored, and you honor it by not engaging in your own affairs, from seeking your own needs or discussing the forbidden, then you will delight in Yah, and I will mount you aside the heights of the world. I will provide you the heritage of your forefather Jacob, for the mouth of Yah has spoken. Chapter 59. Surely the hand of Yah is not too limited to save, nor is his ear heavy, preventing him from hearing. Rather, your iniquities have separated between you and your Elohim, and your transgressions has caused him to hide his countenance from you, from hearing you. For your palms are stained with blood, and your fingers with iniquity. Your lips speak falsehood, your tongues utter wickedness. No one calls out in righteousness, and no one is judged truthfully, trusting in emptiness and speaking vanity, conceiving wrongdoing and giving birth to wickedness. They hatch adders' eggs and weave spiders' webs. Whoever eats of their eggs will die, and when the eggs are squeezed, a viper is hatched. Their webs will not become a garment, and people will not clothe themselves with their work. Their work is the work of wickedness, and an act of corruption is in their palms. Their feet run to evil, and they rush to shed innocent blood. Their thoughts are thoughts of wickedness. Plunder and calamity are in their roads. They know not the way of peace, and there is no justice in their circuits. They have made their paths crooked. All who walk them do not know peace. That is why justice has become distant from us, and righteousness has not reached us. We hope for light, but behold, there is darkness. For brightness, but we walk in deep darkness. We grope the wall like the blind, and like the eyeless we grope. We stumble at noon as in the dark of night, as if in graves like the dead. We all wail like bears and moan like doves. We hope for justice, but there is none, for salvation, but it is distant from us. For our willful sins have increased before you, and our transgressions have testified against us. For our willful sins are with us, and we are aware of our iniquities. Defiance and denial of Yah, and withdrawal from after our Elohim, speaking of oppression of rebellion, conceiving and contemplating words of falsehood from the heart. Thus justice has been withdrawn, and righteousness stands at a distance, because truth has stumbled in the street, and integrity cannot enter. Truth became lacking, and refraining from evil seemed foolish. Yah saw all this, and it was evil in his eyes that there is no justice. But he saw that there was no worthy man, and was astounded that there was no one to entreat. So his arm wrought salvation to him, and it was his benevolence that was his support. He donned righteousness like armor, and the helmet of salvation on his head. And he donned garments of vengeance as his attire, and clothed himself in zealousness like a coat. Just like his earlier retributions, so shall he reciprocate his wrath to his enemies, retribution to his adversaries. He will pay retribution to the islands. From the west, people will fear the name of Yah, and from the rising of the sun, his glory. For travail will come like a river. The spirit of Yah will gnaw at them. A redeemer will come to Zion, and to those of Jacob who repent from willful sin. Thus saith Yah. And as for me, this is my covenant with them, say Yah. My spirit which is upon you, and my words that I have placed in your mouth, will not be withdrawn from your mouth, nor from the mouth of your offspring, nor from the mouth of your offspring's offspring, says Yah, from this moment and forever. All right, chapter 60. Arise, shine, for your light has arrived, and the glory of Yah shines upon you. For behold, darkness may cover the earth, and a thick cloud may cover the kingdoms. But upon you Yah will shine, and his glory will be seen upon you. Nations will walk by your light, and kings by the brilliance of your shine. Lift up your eyes all around and see, they are all assembling and coming to you. Your sons will arrive from afar, and your daughters will be raised at their side. Then you will see and be radiant. Your heart will be startled and broadened. For the affluence of the west will be turned over to you, and the wealth of nations will come to you. An abundance of camels will envelop you, camel coats of Midian and Ephah, and all of them will come from Sheba. Gold and frankincense will they bear, and the praises of Yah will they proclaim. All the flocks of Kedar will be gathered unto you. The rams of Nebaioth will serve you. They will be brought up with favor upon my altar, and I will glorify the house of my splendor. Who are these who fly like a cloud, like pigeons to their coat windows. For the islands will place their hope in me, and the ships of Tarshish as in earlier times, to bring your children from afar with their gold and silver with them, for the name of Yah your Elohim, and for the Holy One of Yasharal, for he will have glorified you. Then the sons of foreigners will build your walls, and their kings will serve you. Though I struck you in my indignation, in my favor have I been compassionate to you. Your gates will be opened continuously, day and night they will not be closed, for them to bring you the wealth of nations and their kings under escort. For the nation and kingdom that does not serve you will perish, and those nations will be utterly destroyed. The glory of the Lebanon forest will come to you, cypress, fir, and boxwood tree together, to glorify the place of my sanctuary, and I will bring honor to the place of my feet. The sons of your oppressors will go to you submissively, and all who scorns you will prostrate themselves at the soles of your feet. They will call you, city of Yah, Zion of the Holy One of Yasharal. Instead of your being forsaken and despised without wayfarers, I will make you into an eternal pride, a joy for generation after generation. You will nurse from the milk of the nations, and from the breast of kings you will nurse. Then you will realize that I, Yah, am your Savior and your Redeemer, the mighty one of Jacob. In the place of copper I will bring gold, and in the place of iron I will bring silver, in the place of wood, copper, and in the place of stones, iron. I will designate your appointed officials for peace and your overlords for righteousness. No longer will violence be heard of in your land, nor plunder and calamity in your borders. You will call Elohim's salvation your protective walls, and his praise to be your gateways. The sun will no longer be for you the light of day, and brightness for the moon will not and brightness and the moon will not illuminate for you. Yah will be an eternal light for you, and your Elohim will be your splendor. Never again will your sun set, and your moon will not be withdrawn. For Yah will be unto you an eternal light, and the days of your mourning will be ended. Your people will all be righteous. They will inherit the land forever. A shoot of my planting, my handiwork is in which to glory. The smallest will increase 1,000-fold, and the youngest into a mighty nation. I am Yah. In its time I will hasten it. I don't know about y'all. It don't sound like that happened yet. I'm not tripping. Hey man, like, you want to take the last six?
Let me just get 1 second. Hey, where'd you stop at? 60 or 61?
61.
Word. Hey, that first verse was so clear and fire too. That you brought up. Say the ruach. You could hear me, right? Like clear. Am
How
I
you?
like real
You're
low?
mad low.
All right, hold on.
Hey, my PTR is Oh wait, it went away.
How about now? I'm much clearer, right?
A little better.
All right. So let's see. The ruach of my Adonai Yahweh Elohim is upon me because Yahweh has anointed me to bring me tidings to the humble. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim the freedoms for the captives, and to proclaim to the imprisoned release from bondage, to proclaim a year of favor unto Adonai and a day of vengeance for our Elohim, to comfort all mourners, to bring about for the mourners of Zion, to give them splendor instead of ashes, oil of joy instead of the mourning of a cloak, praise instead of a dim spirit. Then they will be called the elms of Zedekiah, the planting of Yahweh, in which to glory. They will rebuild the ancient ruins, the wastelands of the former times they will restore. They will renew cities, generations, old wastelands. Foreigners will stand and tend your flocks, and the sons of the Goyim will be your plowmen and your vineyard workers. And you will be called the Kohanim of Adonai, the ministers of our Elohim, will be said of you. You will be the wealth of the Goyim, and will pride yourselves in their glory, instead of your shame, which was double, and disgrace, which they will bemoan and their portion. Therefore, they will inherit a double portion in their land, and eternal gladness will be theirs. For I am Adonai, who loves justice and hates a burnt offering brought with robbery. I will repay their deeds in truth, and I will seal an eternal covenant with them. Their offspring will be known among the nations, and their descendants amid the people. All who see them will recognize them, that they are the seed of Yahweh, the seed that has been blessed. I will rejoice intensely with Yahweh. My soul will exult with my Elohim, for he has dressed me in the raiment of salvation. In a robe of righteousness has he cloaked me, like a bridegroom who exalts himself with splendor, like a bride who bedecks herself with jewelry. For as the earth sends forth its growth, and a garden sprouts forth its seeding, so will my Adonai, Yahweh Elohim, cause righteousness and praise to sprout in the presence of all the Goyim. For Zion's sake I will not be silent, and for Jerusalem's sake I will not be still, until her righteousness emanates like a bright light, and her salvation blazes like a torch. The Goyim will perceive your righteousness and will pronounce. Then you will be a crown of splendor in the hand of Yahweh, and a royal diadem in the palm of your God. That's the crown of Tiferet right there. It will no longer be said of you, the forsaken one. And on your land it will no longer be said, desolate place. For you will be called, my desire is in her. And your land will be called inhabited, for Yahweh's desire is in you, and your land will become inhabited. As a young man takes a maiden in marriage, so will your children settle in you. And like a bridegroom rejoicing over his bride, so will your Elohim rejoice over you. Upon your walls, O Jerusalem, I posted guardians. That's the Abi array, uh, like the knights of the guardians. All the day and all the night, continuously, they will never be silent. You who remind Yahweh, do not be silent. Do not give him silence until he establishes and until he makes Jerusalem a source of praise in the land. Yahweh has sworn by his right hand and by his powerful arm. I will no longer give your food as grain, as food for your enemies. And the sons of strangers will not drink your wine for which you have toiled. For those who have harvested it will eat it and will praise Yahweh. And those who have gathered it in will drink it, my holy courtyards. Go through and go through gates. Clear the way for the people. Pave the road. Clear it of stones. Raise a banner over the people. Behold, Yahweh has announced to the ends of the earth. Say to the daughter of Zion, behold, your Mashiach has come. Behold, his reward is with him, and his wage is before him. People will call them the holy people, the redeemed of Yahweh. And you, Zion, will be called sought after, the city not forsaken. Who is this coming from Edom with sullied garments from Basra? This one who is majestic in his raiment, girded with his abundant strength. It is I, Yahweh. It is I who speaks with righteousness, abundantly able to save. Why is there red on your raiment, and why are your garments like those of someone treading a wine vat? I alone have treaded a wine press. Not a man from the nations was with me. I trod on them in my anger, and I trampled them with my wrath, and their lifeblood spurted out on my garments, and I soiled on my garments, for a day of vengeance is in my heart. and a year of my redemption has come. I looked, but there was no helper. I was astounded, but there was no one to support. So my arm wrought salvation for me, and my wrath was a support for me. I stepped on peoples in my anger, and I made them drunk with my wrath. I threw their lifeblood to the ground. Adonai's kindness will I proclaim as the praises of Yahweh in accordance with all that Yahweh has bestowed upon us in the abundant goodness to the house of Israel, that he has bestowed upon them in his compassion and in his abundant kindness. For he said, indeed they are my people, children who will not be false, and he became their Mashiach. In all their troubles he was troubled. So an angel from him he before him, so an angel from before him saved them. With his love and with his compassion, he redeemed them. He lifted them and bore them all the days of the world. But they rebelled and distressed in his Holy Spirit. So he changed toward them into an enemy. He fought with them. They then remembered the days of old of Moses with his people. Where is the one who brought them out of the sea, together with the shepherds of his flock? Where is the one who infused his Holy Spirit in their midst? Who caused his splendorous arm to go at Moses' right side? Who split the sea before them to make himself an eternal renown? Who led them in the depths as a horse in the desert, so they would not falter? And as an animal descends into the valley, so the Spirit of Yahweh has led them. Hold on one second. My bad. She was trying to turn down the TV and just hitting the up button. All right, hold on. What was that? Who led them in the depths as a horse in the desert, so they would not falter? As an animal descends into a valley, so the Ruach of Yahweh led them. Thus did you guide your people along to make a splendorous name for yourself. That word is also Tiferet. Look down from heaven and see from your abode of holiness and splendor. Where is your zealousness and your might? Your inner yearning and your mercy have been held back from me. For you are our father through Abraham. May not know us and Israel may not recognize us. You, Yahweh, are our Father, our eternal Redeemer is your name. Why, Yahweh, do you let us stray from your path, letting our heart become hardened from fearing you? Return to us for the sake of your servants, the tribes of your heritage. For but a short time did your holy people possess it. Our enemies have trampled your temple. We have become as if you had never ruled over them, as if your name had never been called upon them. If only you would tear open the Hashemayim and descend, the mountains would melt before you. Like the kindling of a melting fire, a fire that bubbles water, make your name known to your enemies so that the Goyim would tremble before you. When you performed your awesome wonders that we had not expected, you descended and the mountains melted because of you. People had never heard, never observed, no eye had ever seen an Elohim, except for you, that acted for those who await him. You have eliminated, hold on. You have eliminated those who rejoiced in doing righteousness, who would invoke your ways in prayer. You have become enraged because we sinned. We had always relied on them and have been saved. We have all become defiled, and all our righteousness is like a worn out garment. We all wither like a leaf, and like a rawak, our sins carry us off. There is no one to call out in your name, who arouses himself to hold fast to you when you hide your face from us and melt us away because of our iniquities. So now, Yahweh, you are our Father. We are the clay and you are the potter, and we are all your handiwork. O Yahweh, do not become greatly enraged and do not remember iniquity forever. Behold, see now, we are all your people. Your holy cities have become a wilderness. Zion has become a wilderness, Jerusalem a wasteland, the temple of our holiness and of our splendor, where our fathers praised you. That word is also Tiferet. The temple of our holiness and our Tiferet, where our fathers have praised you, has become a fiery conflagration, and all that we desired has become a ruin. Will you restrain yourself in the face of all these, Yahweh, and be silent and let us suffer so much? Say 65. I was accessible to those who did not ask. I could be found by those who did not seek me. I said, here I am, to a nation not called by my name. I stretched out my hands all day to a straying people who walk in the road that is not good, following after their own thoughts, the people who continually anger me to my face, who sacrifice in their gardens and burn incense on the bricks, who sits in graves and sleep with corpses, who eat the flesh of the swine and have a sauce of forbidden foods in their utensils, who say, keep to yourself, do not come near to me, for I am holier than thou. These are the smoke of my wrath, like a burning all the day. Behold, it is inscribed before me, I will not be silent until I repay. I will repay uh, into their bosom for your sins and the sins of your fathers together, said Yahweh. Who burn incense on the mountains and blaspheme me on the hills? First I will mete out the payment of their actions into their bosom. Thus saith Yahweh, just as the wine exists in a cluster, and someone says, do not destroy it, for there is blessing within it. So will I do for my servants, not to destroy everything. I will bring forth offspring. My bad, sometimes my eyes. I will bring forth offspring from Jacob and from Judah, the heir of my mountains. My chosen ones will inherit it, and my servants will dwell there. The Sharon will become a fold for the sheep, and the valley of Achor will become fit for cattle to lie down, for my people who have sought me out. But you who have forsaken Yahweh, who have forgotten my holy mountain, who set a table for Gad, who fill a libation to Mene, I will consign you to the sword, and you will all slump down in the slaughter, because I called you and you did not answer. I spoke and you did not hear. You did what is evil in my eyes, and what I did not desire you chose. Therefore, thus saith my Adonai Yahweh Elohim, behold, my servants will eat and you will starve. Behold, my servants will drink and you will thirst. Behold, my servants will rejoice and you will be ashamed. Behold, my servants will exult from good heartedness, and you will cry out from the pain of heart and wail of a broken spirit. You will leave your name as an oath for my chosen ones, and Adonai Yahweh Elohim will put you to death, because he will call his servants a different name. Toot, 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 toot. Whoever blesses himself in the land will bless himself by the Elohim of truth. And whoever takes an oath in the land will take an oath by Elohim of truth. For the earlier travails will have been forgotten and concealed from my eyes. For behold, I am creating a new heavens and a new earth. The former events will no longer be recalled and will not be taken to heart. Only rejoice and be happy forever for what I am creating. For behold, I am recreating Jerusalem as gladness and its people as joy. For I will rejoice over Jerusalem and exult with my people, and there will no longer be heard in it the sound of weeping or the sound of an outcry. Never again will it be brought from there a young child or an old man who would not fill out his days. For the youth of 100 years will die, and a sinner at the age of 100 years will be cursed. They will build houses and inhabit in them, and they will plant vineyards and eat their fruit. They will not build and have another inhabit. They will not plant and have another eat. For the lifetime of my people will be like the lifetime of the tree, and my chosen ones will wear out their handiwork. They will not struggle in vain, nor produce futility, for they are the offspring of the blessed ones of Yahweh, and their descendants will be with them. It will be that before they call, I will answer. While they yet speak, I will hear. Wolf and lamb will graze as one. A lion like cattle will eat straw. A snake food will be dust. And they will not inflict harm nor destruction in all my holy mount, saith Yahweh. And then here's chapter 66. Thus saith Yahweh, heaven is my throne and the earth is my footstool. What house could you build for me? And what place can be my resting place? My hand created all these things, and thus all these came into being. The word of Yahweh, but it is to this that I look, to the poor and broken spirit persons who is zealous regarding my word. He who slaughters an ox is as he slays a man. He who offers a sheep is as if he breaks a dog's neck. He who brings up a meal offering is as if he offers swine blood. And he who brings frankincense remembrance is as if he brings a gift of wickedness. They have even chosen their ways, and their souls have desired their abominations. I too will choose to mock them, and what they dread I will bring upon them, because I called, but no one responded. I spoke, they did not hear. They did what is wrong in my eyes, and what I did not desire they chose. Listen to the word of Yahweh, you who are zealous regarding his word. Your brethren who hate you and shun you say, Yahweh is glorified because of my reputation. But we will see your gladness while they will be shamed. A sound of the tumult comes from the city, a sound of the sanctuary, from the sanctuary, a sound of Yahweh dealing retribution to his enemies. Before she even feels labor pains, she will give birth. Before any travail comes to her, she will deliver a son. Who has heard such as this? Who has seen such as these? Has a land ever gone through its labor in one day? Has a nation ever been born one at one time? As so Zion went through her labor and gave birth to her children. Shall I bring a woman to the birth stool and not have her give birth? Says Yahweh. Shall I, who causes birth, hold it back? Says your Allah. Be glad in Jerusalem and rejoice in her, all who love her. Exalt her with an exaltation, all you who mourn for her, so that you may nurse and be sated from the breast of all her consolations, so that you may suck and delight from the glow of her glory. For thus saith Yahweh, behold, I will extend peace to her like a light in a river, and the wealth of the nations like a surging stream. And you will suckle, you will be carried on one side and dangled on their knees like a man whose mother consoled him, so will I console you. And in Jerusalem you will be consoled. You will see, and your heart will exult, and your bones will flourish like the grass. The hand of Yahweh will be known to his servants, and he will show his anger to his enemies. For behold, Yahweh will arrive in fire, and his chariots like the whirlwind, to vent his anger with wrath and his rebuke with a flame and fire. For Yahweh will enter into judgment with fire, and with the sword against all mankind. There will be many who will be slain by Yahweh. Those who prepare and purify themselves go to the gardens, going one group after another in its midst, and those who eat the flesh of the swine, the abominable creature, and the mouse will all be consumed together, the word of Yahweh. I know their actions and their thoughts. The time has come to gather all the nations and the tongues. They will come and see my glory. I will put a sign upon them and send some of them as survivors to the nations: Tarshish, Phal, Lod, Akkars, Tabal, and Yavan, the distant lands who have not heard of my fame and not seen my glory. And they will declare my glory among the nations. They will bring all your brethren from all the nations as an offering to Yahweh, with horses, with chariots, and with covered wagons, and with mules, with joyous dances to my holy mountain, Jerusalem, says Yahweh. Just as the children of Israel bring offering in a pure vessel to the house of Yahweh, from them too I will take men to be Kohanim, the Levites, says Yahweh. For just as a new heavens and a new earth that I will make will endure before me, the word of Yahweh, so will your offspring and your name endure. It shall be at every new moon and every Shabbat. All mankind will come to prostrate themselves before me, says Yahweh, and they will go out and see the corpses of the men who rebelled against me. For their decay will not cease, and their fire will not be extinguished, and they will lie in disgrace before all mankind. Hey, Baruch atah Adonai, and bless the reading of the word. That's the end of Isaiah 66.
Praise to the Most High, Yahweh. Hey, I don't see how people read that. Like we read earlier, where it was talking about those who guard the Sabbath, and said it several times. And what we just read over with the in 65, when it was talking about never again will the young or old man not fill out their days. The youth of one will be 100 years. People will live long as trees. Basically, they'll live longer than stuff their handiwork. Before they call, he'll answer. Uh, Wolf and lamb grazes one. All that stuff. I don't see how people say that it came already, yo. And it was a part where it said they will never be taking out their land again, blah blah blah. All that. I don't see how that already happened. That don't make sense to me.
Well, it didn't. And that's the thing, like all the prophecies that were dealing with them, like coming out of Babylon, they like people would like try to like make it seem it's actually a Christian concept where they try to make it seem like they're all talking about the same stuff. When like Ezekiel is talking about something different, Jeremiah at end times is talking about something different, at the end of days, all stuff, right? It's obvious like they're covering different topics, but like it's a Christian concept to say that all that stuff is already fulfilled to make this right here about JC. So like it's a very unorthodox position to hear that everything has been fulfilled. Because that like yo, that's something new. Um, like I've heard this argument from Christians a lot. Does Zerubbabel and Joshua fulfilled all that stuff? But I've never heard it from like Yah only. Well, that's because like there was no Yah only until like a couple years ago. Like it was just us, and like we never said no crazy stuff like that. But yo, all praise to the Most High. That stones to knock. Hey, that book of Isaiah, fire in here, man.
Yeah, Isaiah is one of my favorite books. I think it's straight to the point. Like y'all ain't playing in Isaiah, yo. You don't play at all. Like this what it is. I'm him. I'm him. Ain't nobody else. It's me. Y'all don't follow my. Y'all eating swine's flesh. Y'all getting cut down basically. And he goes hard in Isaiah, man.
Hey, what was that first one again in 56 where he talked about the Shabbat right there?
Uh, yeah, that one too. It was like, yeah. 56:2. Praiseworthy is the man who does this. I'll start from the top. 56. Thus save Yah, observe justice, perform righteousness, for my salvation is soon to come, my righteousness to be revealed. Praiseworthy is the man who does this, and the person who grasps it tightly, who guards the Shabbat against desecration, and guards his hand against doing any evil. Then talks about grasping the covenant, observing the Shabbat in verse 4, and it mentions it again in verse 6. It reiterates it like three separate times just in the first uh the first 8 verses. It says three times, grasp the covenant and observe my Shabbat. Then again in
Con, it says,
13, it's again the Shabbat. It's all over.
Con, yeah, it say right here, like in 6, like you said, it say, and even the foreigners who join themselves to Yahweh to serve him and to love the name of Yahweh to become servants unto him, all who guard the Sabbath against desecration and grasp my covenant tightly, I will bring them to my holy mountain and I will gladden them in my house of prayer. And their elevation offerings and their feast offerings will find favor on my altar, for my house will be called a house of prayers for all people. The word of Yahweh, the word of Adonai Yahweh Elohim, who gathers the dispersed in Israel. I shall gather to him even more than those already gathered to him. I mean, wow, bro. Like, man. Oh, you see, go back to chapter 55. You see what it say, in chapter 55, um, verse 1, where it say like the little side note underneath 55, like, come study Torah, Davidic covenant, seek God
Oh
and
yeah,
return to him,
yeah,
keep
yeah.
the law, the foreigner, the barren one, and the dispersed.
Yeah, I like how they do that. I noticed also, I seen where Paul took that, where he took that, when it talks about the helmet and the armor of the Most High. That's from Isaiah 59:17, where it say he donned righteousness like armor and the helmet of salvation on his head. And he donned garments of vengeance as his attire, clothed himself in zealousness as like a coat. Yeah, Paul plagiarized that. Hey, that reminds me, that dude that do that Jesus, I don't even want to say the name, but Jesus Christ. You know that he be breakdancing while he say that? That reminded me that remind that junk funny as hell. That reminded me of that dude. I don't know if y'all know what I'm talking about. That dude right here. I pinned it on the link. Hey, Isaiah 61. Who's is that an actual like is that a singular person or is that the nation or what is what's the I don't know if we're gonna get into it and find out later down the chapters. Like who's that speaking right there?
Hold on, I'm about to go to it. Because yeah, these things definitely need to be explored um, from an actual Hebraic perspective. Because like, if we were to like Google like who is this talking about, it's going to be like a Christian or like
Yeah,
a small
definitely.
hat to like explain it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Hold on.
What do you think is Isaiah? Because it's Isaiah's book speaking.
Yeah, Con, which verse you talking about? 61 and 1?
61.
Oh, the whole chapter. Okay. Yeah. The Rawaka my Adonai Elohim is upon me, because Yahweh has anointed me to bring tidings to the humble. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim freedoms for the captives, and to proclaim the imprisoned release from bondage, to proclaim favor unto Yahweh, and a day of vengeance for us. Yeah, that's Isaiah.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, especially verse 10. Verse 10 right there. It say he used it. Yeah. So verse 8 is like Yahweh speaking, for I am Yahweh. And then verse 10 is like, I will rejoice intensely with Yahweh. Exult with my, that's Isaiah. And then, yeah. And then verse 63, who is this coming from Edom with sullied garments from Basra? This one who is majestic in his raiment, girded with his abundant strength. It is I who speaks with righteousness, abundantly able to save. Why is there red on your raiment, and why are your garments like those tried in the wine at vat? I alone have trodden the winepress, and not a man from the nations was with me. I trod them in my anger and trampled them in my wrath, and their lifeblood spurted on my garments. Yep. So they be trying to stretch that when they try to throw JC in there.
Right. They just be rolling dice and throwing it anywhere and be like, yo, that's him right there. But as you see, as we read it in its entirety, it's not so. So, didn't Darian, like when we went through Isaiah 7, didn't he see it? Like he saw it, right? He saw that Isaiah 7 wasn't about JC's birth, but he
He
wanted to
did, yeah.
flip it still. Like he seen it was the child was already born in 8-8 within a 65-year period. They still try to flip it though. It's crazy. But the way they get around it. But all right, yeah, it was about somebody else, but dual prophecy is gonna happen. That's the only way they get around it. Yeah. So yeah, it did happen, but it happened again. Man,
Uh, hey, Jeremiah gonna be a whole. They keep coming around. I mean, Isaac got the stones. Scatter got the stones tonight. So they see Jeremiah gonna be good too here, man. And then it jumps straight into Ezekiel. It's gonna paint a whole different picture.
yeah, Jeremiah goes through it, man.
Yep. And then I got this book in my picture on the right side, uh, the Hamikdash, and then I got the Bayat Hamikdash. No, the Mishkan, and then the Bayat Hamikdash, so the Holy Temple, and then like the Mishkan or whatnot. So we got all the little diagrams and stuff in there too. Show exactly what it's talking about. Give me like 3 minutes. I'm still here. I'm still listening.
The homegirl left. I think she left after we started saying JC wasn't in there.
I mean, she heard it for herself. I mean, it's all good. She probably just need a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, they're going. What I'm saying, they're going to the 7-Eleven, and they're like, "Hey, where's the Jose Cuervo?" And they're like, "We don't have none." They're like, "Can you go back there and get the Jose Cuervo? I know it's in there."
Jose Cuervo don't even taste good, man.
Hey, I'm so far removed from
You
that
gotta
shit.
pick something.
I don't even know what the hell Jose Cuervo is. It sound like some damn tequila or some shit.
Nah, I drank that stuff like one time, like back in like 2015, something like that. And my ass almost fell in. I was like in a bonfire and I almost fell in that thing. I ain't never drank that shit again, bro. After that, I was straight on the wine, Pinot Noir. Hold up. Oh, I was gonna bring you up, Scatty. Hey. I don't even remember what wine tastes like, man. It's been over 2 years now.
Brother Soul, I was just gonna say, Marlo, goddamn Marlo.
Are you talking about the wine?
Yeah, but this wine is like very dry, so you be dehydrated like a motherfucker. Like I have to drink like 5 bottles of water. But this hand might put me on. I was chilling with her, and you know, and it don't even matter about all that. But we was chilling, having a good time, and we drunk some Merlot. And I know what you say, peanut, because I work at a. What'd you say, peanut? What's the
Pinot
name of it?
Pinot Noir. Like they have a Pinot Grigio, which is a white, but
Right, right,
the Noir, because I first started drinking when I first started drinking wine, it was the Merlot, but that junk was
right.
yeah, that is a Hamitic drink. You gonna get you that Noir though. You want the Shemitic drink, that the Noir is more, it's
You
more
did.
smooth, yeah. It's more smooth, you know what I'm saying? Like Yasharal.
You did, but she showed me a good time though. Back then, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm gonna say it in front of the congregation. I was smoking cigarettes back then. I'm 3 months in now, y'all. Give me some love. Uh,
All praise.
yeah, yeah, for real. I was chilling with her and she didn't like it. That was the only problem. She didn't like the cigarettes, but you know that was it. She loved that Merlot though. No cap.
That ain't the same one that didn't like the scriptures, is it?
Nah, I don't think none of it's the real, but I be real dehydrated after I drink some Merlot.
Yeah, I was going hard when I was drinking wine, man. I remember me and my brother and my boy, we was going like after work, we would go through a bottle almost every night. We'd have a bottle and we'd have two, three joints.
Yeah. Now I done limit to myself. I'm probably like the youngest above Yashem, because Yashem probably younger than me. I could tell. I'm 31. Yashem probably like I'm a guess, Yashem. Don't get mad. You probably like 20, 27, 28. And I'm just trying to learn, you know, and it's good that you should network though. That's a very big thing. Cause I be like me most of the time before I got on here, I was like off the radar. No social media, no nothing. I'm like off the radar. So it's a blessing though.
God, that's how I am. And whenever I do like have an account on something, I don't be using it, and I be having like 5 people on it. Hey, what y'all want to name the next room?
Let Yashem do it.
I ain't gonna cap. Y'all shit, I got some tracks for y'all. I've been waiting on y'all. Come on now. You ain't got to do no tracks. We could read again, whatever. I love y'all. Let's keep doing this. Who, like you said, Menelec, but I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not following, I'm following the most high and it's Tanakh only. And, you know, I mess with you. You very smart, period. Brother Soul, all y'all, Yashim, you know, we got a couple brothers. That's why we got a couple sisters too. But I ain't gonna talk long. I just want to say that. And I'm not choosing sides. My side is the father and the Tanakh, period. And I want to learn Hebrew so bad. I'm a beginner. I was in adultery too. Salaki, I was in adultery too. And my brothers too. We just not getting out of it. So you gotta pardon them. All of them. Trust me. I know. I was there.
No,
Well,
that's
yeah,
fact.
of course, bro. Like that's the thing. Like I be like talking my shit, but like that's like an actual method of like teaching, right? Like I don't never hold no grudges. You feel me? Like actually while we was reading, I like unblocked all of them.
Yeah, man, like you know, I follow you to the core on this internet, and they kicked you out. Fuck that. They don't want to fuck with you. Fuck them. Let's stay on the main course. Let's get this the big fish. Period.
Yeah, I don't keep no grudges, bro. That's just how like the environment when I was studying Torah like years ago, it wasn't like this on like how Clubhouse is. It wasn't like this. Um, you couldn't like teach a false doctrine and then continue teaching the next day. Like we would like humiliate you to no end, like to no end, like for real. So like yo, like a lot of us like yo, like we fell all the way back and make sure our shit was tight before we even like popped out. So like it's not like really like a good thing, but like that's I'm working on that as well. But like that JC stuff, like the problem is that like we're like taking it seriously. Like when we talk to fools about that shit, you're supposed to like actually make fun of them, and then they'll get it. But like not make fun of them like to get them away from you, but like make fun of them in like a brotherly way, where like they're always welcome around you, but like
That's
make
it.
sure you
Ain't really funny though when it's serious. Uh, Considering our father, it's not really funny. I mean, we can joke and giggle all day long. I be giggling like a motherfucker, but it ain't really funny.
well, yeah, I mean, at some point they reading about how Yahweh's gonna kill them. So it's like, yo, like, what I'm saying? Like, I think brothers like Ananiah will come around, um, especially with that Ezekiel. That Ezekiel is big right there. That Ezekiel helped me out a lot. Like, out of all the books that I study, I'd be up on that Ezekiel because he was really the only one that he sent to like actually go and like teach people after like the other Levites or whatever. He did all the shit that they say Christ did: resurrect the Israelites,
See,
walk on water, all that shit.
see what I mean? It ain't that.
Hey, Shalom. Can you guys hear me?
Khan, shalom.
Wow.
Man, you guys almost done with the book of Isaiah. Oh, wow.
Like,
Crazy.
man,
Oh no, we are done.
You know, hey, so when you guys went back and went over certain scriptures, is there some verses that you guys want to go back? I mean, I missed most of the reading because, I work 2 jobs and everything. But
uh,
is there something? Go ahead.
Salaki, I'm sorry. Keep going.
No, no, no. I was just going to say, is there something that in the book of Isaiah that we could go back and reflect on? Because, for example, like I don't really have the history down pat when it comes to like Kings and Chronicles and where Isaiah lies in, and wasn't Isaiah also like
Yo, I'm
involved
back
or
on there.
around with Jeremiah as well? So I just wanted to like touch on some of that history.
Yeah, they were contemporaries.
Right. So being that you said that, there was a conversation going on and in another room, and a person, they got into how, Yah divorced Israel, and right within the same chapter or the same text to show that Yah did not divorce Israel. in a
Yes, he
sense of
did.
what they. No, in a sense that like when we do, like in Torah it says that when you divorce a woman, you can't take her back. So if Yah divorced Israel, like if he was like us, like a man, why does he keep saying, "But come back and return unto me"? So I just wanted to kind of like go a little deeper on that, because if we was to give a woman a bill of divorce, can we go to tell that woman to come back to us?
Not if she divorced and she went with somebody else, got married, then no, it says you're not supposed to.
Huh? And we know
The
that
stem?
Israel idol worship, and that would be considered Israel going to another man, right?
Yup, that's fact.
So now we can't have no contradiction in the scripture. So I'm saying is that the Most High Yah himself, you know what I'm saying, he's not like men where he can't divorce Israel when they was in the idolatry. But for his name's sake, he says, return back unto me. And Israel always had a chance to return back. And he also said in Leviticus 26 chapter that, although Israel did not keep the covenants, that he will not destroy the covenant, but he will remember the covenant he made with our forefather Jacob, Isaac, you know. So and Abraham. So how does that is that a contradiction when he said he would write a new covenant? When he says he would remember
You're
the
not even
old
covered.
covenant?
Fuck that, bitch. You're not even covered that. I'm on y'all ass. Metalect, please get me into this motherfucking room. These
Hey, what's
bitches
going
ain't
on?
on shit.
What's going on, Scatter? What we
Mm,
talking about?
what's the deal? Hey, that's a nice PTR you got right there, Miguel. You're doing something right. You're doing something right.
Oh,
Hey,
I
what
appreciate that.
happened? My bad. I was on mute for a little bit. What happened?
Yeah, what happened?
Nah, you cool. You in New York?
Uh, yeah, I'm in New York. I'm driving to work, so I'm gonna probably cut out a little bit. But I know you guys are about to start a new room, so since the topic wasn't at hand, I just thought we could kind of like cover that, the history, cover because Jeremiah and Isaiah were were in the same era. We see that in Jeremiah's, he got the words from Yah saying that, you know, I'm going to
Mm.
divorce you for your treachery, but he also says, return back unto me. And I know that when I was in the camp, the doctrine that one of the strong doctrines from the camp was that because Yah divorced Israel, the only way Israel could come back is through JC. I don't know if you guys remember that doctrine. Um,
I'm sick and tired of that dude. That's why I'm talking shit. 'Cause I'm sick and tired of that dude. You know you be in our rooms. I'm tired of that
yeah,
shit. I got brothers
yeah,
under
I
me.
know,
I
I
got
know.
sons.
I'm tired of it too. But this is not more about JC. This is more about the history. That's what I'm trying to say. Overall, I just wanted to see how Isaiah and Jeremiah, being that they was in the
No,
same era,
shit.
I don't know exactly how, in what portions of Chronicles or Kings, or were they within the same era. That's what I'm saying. But
Hey, is
if
my
you
mic back?
say what?
Said, is my microphone back kicking?
Oh
How
yeah,
many? Come on.
I can hear you fine.
Oh, I can hear it. See, that, like I said, the book of Ezekiel really explained all of that because it talks about, okay, and you familiar with Ezekiel 34, Miguel?
I mean, we could go over it again. I haven't read it in a long time. I haven't read a lot of things in a long time. So, um, but yeah, I got 5 more minutes before I hit the basement, so you could go for it.
No, you're okay. You don't have to run. You're okay. Just talk. I'm gonna try my best to talk.
Nah,
Con.
go
So
ahead. I'm looking for
Miguel, in
parking. Go
Ezekiel,
ahead, go for it.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, if you want to be looking for parking spot for a little bit. So Ezekiel 34, right? In the beginning of it, it talks about how he is against the shepherds of Israel and how the shepherds of Israel, they did
Metalect.
not shepherd his flock.
That's what I'm
And
thinking.
then,
That's what my spirit telling me. I think it's Israel. I think it's us. Period.
and then, and then he said, since he's against the shepherds, that he's going to shepherd them himself. He said, behold, I am here and I will shepherd my flock and I will seek out my flock like how a shepherd seeks out his flock on the day that they are lost, on a cloudy and dark day. It says that he will seek out his flock from all the places that they have been scattered to. And then he
Mm,
says that Yahweh himself will lead the children back to Israel. And
mm,
then he's going to place a shepherd over them. That's a very, very important thing right there. That kills Jesus. That kills the Rubabel part because it said that he will lead them himself back to Israel and then he will place a shepherd up over them and says it's
he's just
David.
God. He don't fuck with nobody else.
And then he says
He's
it's
just
David,
God.
right? So after that, you know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. He said that he will shepherd them back to the mountains of Israel, where they would lie on good pasture and fold, and no one will like harm them. And then he put David over them. So whoever this David is, or if it's David himself, it ain't Zerubbabel and it ain't Jesus, because they were already there, and they like brought the children of Israel back, and like the Mashiach. Oh, actually, Devonia's here. Hey, Devania, help me out with this one. Can you bring her
All
up,
of us
please?
in this mother.
Where you been? Oh,
Yashem, tell that shit right now to everybody.
yo, what's going
Was
on
y'all
with
want to hear
the,
the music?
what's going on in the goo though, yo? Y'all see that?
That's okay. It's a lot of people. Come on.
Or y'all want to hear music?
Oh, yo, hold on. Hey, yo, shout out to
Nigga said,
Palestine, free Palestine. We the Ethiopian Jews. We not the Ashkenaz Jews. We know where Palestine is and we know where Israel is, and it's two different places. Palestine is Palestine, and Israel is Israel, and it's not Palestine. Okay, we know them people took y'all land. They tried to take our land. We have documents on them trying to take our land too in Ethiopia to build Israel there. We have documents on them trying to take Uganda and build Israel there. And you know what? They did the same thing to y'all, and they need to give y'all lands back. So you know, y'all, you're supposed to be on our side. Hey, Levi Ackerman. No, that's not an actual Jew. That's a Muslim brother. I mean, you could come up here, brother, but like, we're not the
Oh
Ashkenaz
shit.
Jews.
Oh
yeah,
shit. Better
not,
like us some bullshit.
we're not on that
They gonna
Zion.
come up here, they scared. Better like,
Like,
oh shit, hold on. Just
tell
tell me
me
that.
how come?
You want to see the document? Hold on, let me show
No,
you.
no, I didn't
Let
need
them
that.
see something.
But what do you think? Like, what and like, how come?
How come? Okay,
Oh,
I have
Yeah,
a document. I have a document from the World Congress of Jewish Studies to the World Union of Jewish Studies
you know where you
that
can
they
put your
tried to
document
take
in, right?
our land. That they tried to
You know
take.
where you can put
You
your
sound like
document in.
Hold on, bro. Be quiet.
yeah, hold up,
They
let him
tried
Yeah,
to
speak.
take. They tried to take our land the same way they tried to take Palestine.
you know where you can put your document in, right?
Where? Up your ass?
Your ass.
All right. See you later.
These
Hey,
niggas.
boo.
Hey, they put
Now, anyway,
explosion emojis down there like they did.
I already knew it.
They dumb as hell.
I already knew it. He's supposed to be a rat. I heard it already. I
right?
heard it.
Got y'all W for the day. Good
Yeah.
shit.
Now, anyway, so they did try to take like our land and like create Israel there, and then they tried to deny that this place ever existed. Right? They doing the same shit to Palestine. They're running around saying that Palestine doesn't exist and stuff because they're bugged out like that. They say Palestine never existed when in the scriptures Palestine and Israel was always two different places. Like, who did David go to war against? The Philistines. The Philistines. That's Palestinians. So it's always been like different spots or whatnot, right? So anyway, back to like the story, right? So King David or whoever it may be, he is installed after. So in the rest of Ezekiel, after Ezekiel 34, it goes to Ezekiel 37. It says the same thing, and then it starts to go into the building of the temple. And this temple's design is completely different than any other temple that we've had. And not to mention, in Ezekiel 48, it says that this city will be called from now on that Yahweh is there. Okay, so now, okay, this is the important part, right? The prince in the temple is a Mashiach prince that it's talking about in Ezekiel 34 and Ezekiel 37. King Cyrus was the Mashiach when Zerubbabel and them was like installed. Zerubbabel wasn't the Mashiach. See what I'm saying? He wasn't the prince, he was a governor. The high priest Joshua was ruling Israel. In fact, he was the Kohen Gadol. He was ruling Israel like how Moses was, as the high priest or whatnot. So then, like after that, Onias the third was ruling Israel as the high priest, and Israel was never restored till since then. It's still not. Like that shit over
Hey,
there in modern
and
Israel is
Menelik,
fake.
Menelik, you definitely right. And I ain't gonna say shit more, but you definitely right.
Well, yeah, of course. Like
Tell me why they not
there's this thing like
change the
my bad.
PTR to Hitler though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
come
yeah,
on,
because
Stone,
they're
talk
against
that
like
shit.
they're against like the Ashkenazi Jews, but I mean like bro, they're not real. So like I mean, yo, like okay. So this is the thing. There's this thing that comes from like the camps, this camp ideology where Judah is above Levi for some reason. So I got two verses, right? I'm gonna read them real quick. I'm gonna post them in the group chat real quick, actually. Um, actually, no, I'm gonna just pull this shit up real quick. All right, so I am their inheritance, right? Very simple, right? We all are familiar with these scriptures. Ezekiel 44. Okay, so Ezekiel 44:28. Give me one second, because whatever I pull it up on, I can't go to a specific verse. I gotta scroll through. All right, Ezekiel 44:28. Here it is. It's a actually. We're gonna start at. All right, y'all know how I go to Ezekiel 44 to show that like what you call it. Hey, it's got to go on mute for 1 second. I think I got like an echo. But so y'all know how I go to Ezekiel 44 to show that like the priests go through like the same thing as the Nazarites. It says it in here too. So Ezekiel 48, we're just gonna read the whole thing. Verse 10. Only the Levites who distance themselves from me when Israel strayed from me after their idols, and they shall be ministers of my sanctuary appointed over the gates of the house. They shall slaughter the burnt offering, the sacrifices, all those things, right? And they shall, he's talking about the Levites that when astray cannot approach him, right? So then 15, hold on. I put up the wrong one. I put up 44 because it says the same exact thing. Hold on, I mean Ezekiel 48. Ezekiel 48. And it's 28. All right, my bad. Okay. Third verse 35 in this version. And it amounts to 18,000, like the length of the borders of the city. And the name of the city from that day will be Yahweh is there. All right, so let me go back and pull these verses real quick. All right, so 44:28, it says, and it shall be for them unto an inheritance. I am their inheritance, and you shall give them no possession in Israel. I am their possession. Because the only reason that the Most High was even still dealing with Israel when they went into idolatry is because of the Zadokites, literally because of the Levites, the ones that kept the charge in verse 15. But the Levites, the sons of Zadok, that kept the charge of my sanctuary when the children of Israel went astray from me, they shall come near to me to serve me, right? That's the only reason that like the Most High even kept dealing with them. So, okay, all right, watch this. So now when we go to Ezekiel 44. So 44, 1 through 3, and then 46, verse 3. Okay. This is what it says. And he brought me back by the way of the outer sanctuary gate that faces eastward, and it was closed. And Yahweh said to me, this gate shall be closed, it shall not be opened, and no man shall come through it. For Yahweh Elohim and Israel comes through it, and it shall be closed. The prince, and it says, Ata Hanajeya, like the prince or the ruler. I permit, he is a prince, not a governor. He shall sit therein to eat bread before Yahweh. By the way of the hall of the gate he shall come, and by the way of the same way he shall leave. All right, so that right there, right? So when you go to the next two chapters, 46, it talks about this prince is going to be doing sacrifices. Nowhere will you find Zerubbabel doing sacrifices. In fact, he does like thousands of sacrifices in one day. So JC is dead. Zerubbabel doctrine is dead. So this is what it says 46, 1 through 3. So saith Yahweh Elohim, the gate of the inner court that faces toward the east shall remain closed the 6 working days. But on the Sabbath it shall be open, and on the new moon it shall be open. And the prince or the king shall enter by the way of the vestibule of the gate without, and he shall stand at the doorpost of the gate. And the priest shall offer his burnt offering and his peace offering, and he will prostrate himself at the gate, right? And the people of the land shall also prostrate themselves at the entrance of that gate on the Sabbaths and the new moons before Yahweh. And the burnt offering which the prince offers to Yahweh on the Sabbath shall be 6 lambs without blemish, and a ram without blemish. And as a meal offering, 1 ephah for the ram, and for the lambs a meal offering as he is able to give, and a hin of oil or an ephah. And then, but on the new moon, a young bull without blemish, and 6 more lambs and a ram without blemish are they to be. Then it goes into the meal offering. It says, verse 8, and whenever the prince goes in, he shall go in by the way of the vestibule of the gate, and out the same way he shall go. And then watch this. All right. Verse 11, 12, 13. He's talking about offering more lambs, peace offerings, sin offerings. Verse 13, it says, and a lamb of the first year without blemish shall you bring as a burnt offering daily to Yahweh. Every morning you shall bring it. As a meal offering for it, okay, then it keeps going. Continual burnt offering, verse 15. Verse 16, right here, JC dies right here. So saith Yahweh Elohim, if the prince give a gift to any of his sons, it is his inheritance and remains in his son's possession. It is their property by inheritance. But if he gives a gift of his inheritance to one of his servants, then it shall be until the year of liberty, and then it comes back to the prince. Only to his sons shall his inheritance belong. But the prince may not take of the people's inheritance to force them out of their possessions. Only from his own possessions shall he give his sons inheritance, so that my people may not be scattered, each man from his inheritance. And then, okay, this is what it says right here. Now he brought me through the side entry of the side gate, okay, the chambers of the priests, because in this temple, there's like what they call a suburb inside of the Holy of Holies. Like the priests have houses in there this time, and they live there. So it says, and he said to me, this is the place where the priest shall cook the guilt offering and the sin offering. JC's dead. And bake the meal offering so as not to bring them out of the outer court to mingle with the people. And then, okay, watch this. Let's go to the next chapter. Actually, it's next chapter, 48. Now, okay, 48, where it says that the name of the land, verse 35, and all around it amounts to 18,000. 1 plus 9, 1 plus 8 is 9. 3, 3, and 3. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. 3 degrees of the temple. And the name of the city from that day will be Yahweh is there. That ain't happened yet. So, okay, hold on. Watch this. Let's go to, I mean, this whole shit ain't happened. None of it. All right. So, and then it's like, and when it goes to like the theory or the idea, like, oh yeah, we know it didn't happen exactly how it was supposed to happen. That's like the hat saying that they got brought back to Israel according to prophecy, and then you could show them how it didn't happen. But they're like, yeah, it didn't exactly happen how it said it's supposed to happen, but it happened. You see how that's like that's a damn what you call it idea, a hat idea. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah, rabbit out the hat.
yeah, like what does it mean? The prophecy of Yahweh is a lie and it's not going to happen exactly how I say it's going to happen. Like, come on, man. Like, what is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, but I don't know what's going on with Brother Scattered. I don't know. And Miguel left too. I'm sitting there explaining that shit for him. The fuck?
He said something about going to another room or something. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I can't find them anymore. But I did like block some people, and I did unblock like some of them. So that's probably why I can't see the room or whatever. But I don't know. You see where they went?
Nah,
But yeah, shit. I mean, damn, I'm sitting there explaining all that shit for him. Like, fuck.
Fuck 'em.
still got the replays if you want to tap back into them.
But yeah, like that whole book of Ezekiel, the future stuff, none of that happened. Like people saying that shit happened and bugged out their skull. They need to show me Zerubbabel um, being anointed the same way as David and them was anointed, and the Levites. You ain't gonna find it. They need to show me him being called a king in that book just one time. They ain't gonna find it. Him doing sacrifices. They ain't gonna find it. And giving his sons like inheritances and shit over Israel. They ain't gonna find it. And they don't even care about the temple. So that's why they're saying the dumb shit in the first place. Because they're like, oh yeah, we know it wasn't the same temple, but it wasn't, according to the design that Yahweh ordered and commanded, because the niggas don't keep the commandments. So I mean, they're like, yeah, they built a temple. It's the same one. Like, what? Like, bro, you bugged out your skull. That's why the brother got mad at me that one day. I'm like, so is Zerubbabel's temple the same as this temple, Ezekiel? They're like, yeah. I'm like, is it built exactly how Yahweh said to build it? They're like, no. I'm like, is it the same temple? They're like, yes. They start getting mad as hell. I'm like, bro, you don't hear yourself, bro? Like, shit sounds stupid. But yeah, like, I don't know. Niggas is weird. I don't know what the hell they got going on. I don't hold no grudges, you know what I'm saying? But I do talk my trash when it's time to. And like, I keep a nuke in my pocket, ready to drop it on the sucker at all times. They mad at Yashem because Yashem
Accurately.
gets it. And you notice how they start getting mad at you, Yashem, for no reason?
Yeah, I'm used to the jealousy.
And then they talking about, oh, how come, we always challenge people to debate and nobody will debate us. That's not true, man. Yehudi Amaran went in there to debate them and asked them to set up a formal debate, and they didn't want none of it. They didn't want not one part of it. So like, you know damn well they're not going to debate me or Judah Naz. Like, bro, like, you going to debate me on the debate title? Is Zerubbabel's temple the same as Ezekiel's temple? And then when we get, you gonna make your bullshit presentation, and then we're gonna go to the question answer round. I'm gonna say, sir, is Zerubbabel's temple built according to the diagram ordered by Yahweh, commanded by Yahweh in Ezekiel? They're gonna say no. I'm gonna say, is it the same temple? They're gonna say yes. I'm gonna like, bro, you been smoking crack today? They're gonna say no. I'm gonna ask them, are you sure? Like, bro, what the fuck? Like, bro, that shit don't last in the arena of intelligence. Like, yeah, the niggas debate Gadal and shit, but Gadal's fucking stupid too. Like, what do they think?
I don't know if her good dog do some damage, but I ain't heard no debate in a while.
Ain't debate nobody smart. This is the thing. Them brothers over there, you know, all love or whatever, right? These is hats. If you ask them, I shit you not, you ask the Karaites, you read them Psalms 119, verse 18, show me the hidden things from the Torah, and you say, sir, are there hidden things in the Torah? They're going to say no. So they don't even believe in the Bible.
So why does the verse say, "Show me the hidden things of the Torah"?
Well, that's why the Karaites, they mostly only hold to the Torah, and they don't even know. They say they don't know if the other stuff is real.
Hmm.
Yeah, this shit's bugged out, bro. This shit's not like, yo, that shit's stupid.
Oh, the Karaites, the
Yeah,
Karazite.
yeah. Let me show you. What do the Karaites believe? Watch this. What do Karaites believe? And it's funny because Kara means to like read, literally kare, to read. You just don't read. It says a Jewish religious movement that repudiated oral tradition, so they go against the oral tradition just to invent their own and defend the Hebrew Bible as the sole authentic front of religious doctrine and practice. Okay, now watch this. Watch this. Are Karaites the Sadducees? They believed in the resurrection of the dead, which they considered part of reward and awaiting righteousness. Maimonides' statement in the Mishnah commentary that the Karaites in Egypt are the Sadducees, who did not believe in the reward and punishment, cannot be reconciled with his statement in the guide. Okay, watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Charism in Encyclopedia Britannica. Kara means to read. Okay, they dismissed the Talmud, right? And they set themselves against rabbinic Judaism, right? But what they did was they created their own oral tradition. Watch this. Charism proclaimed the Bible to be self-explanatory and sanctioned personal interpretations of the scriptures. The movement, however, soon found it necessary to develop an oral tradition of its own. You see what I'm saying? Bruh, they retarded. And the niggas would never debate me. Ever. They don't even know what they believe in. Hold on, let me read this shit again. Charism proclaimed the Bible to be self-explanatory and sanctioned personal interpretations of the scriptures. The movement, however, soon found it necessary to develop an oral tradition of its own in applying scriptural principles to daily life. Asceticism became so severe that the adherents were not only forbidden to kindle a fire on the Sabbath, but even to warm themselves or use a light from a fire on Friday for a light. The festivals of Hanukkah were suppressed, and great rigor was applied to dietary laws. Ritual purity, fasting, clothing, marriage adherence were forbidden to marry outside the group, and uncompromising monotheism led to the exclusion of the traditional ritual objects such as phylacteries and mezuzahs. All right, now watch this. Initially, supporters of the movement were called Ananites, okay, after Anan ben David, the first literary figure of the group who worked out a code of life independent from the Talmud, so they created their own Talmud, basically. During the 9th or 10th century, the name Karaites was adopted to underscore the group's emphasis on reading the Bible. Okay, watch this. All right, in the 10th century, was an outspoken, effective component of Kharism and tried to exclude Karaites from Jewish communities. He and others, however, were forced by Kharism to develop Jewish philosophy. Jewish philosophy. We're going to go back to that. And sharpen their exegesis, fucking Christianity, to defend rabbinic Judaism's use of oral tradition and the Talmud in particular. These controversies stimulated both sides into producing a great mass of polemical literature in Hebrew and Aramaic, the largest collection, which is now in the St. Petersburg Public Library. Karaites still exist today. The community in Israel is estimated at 30,000 and is concentrated around Ashdod and Ramallah. Now, in Nehemiah chapter 13, verse 24, it says, and half of them were speaking the language of the Ashdai, the Ashdites, and did not know the language Yahawadiah. Okay? And then he beat them, pulled their hair out, told them not to marry their sons to their daughters or their daughters to their sons. Okay? Some small communities exist outside Israel. Many of those residing in Eastern Europe consider themselves ethnically distinct from other Karaite Jews. The liturgy of the Karaites is less rich than that of other congregations, having little poetry but many readings of scriptural texts. Okay, watch this. Reformed Judaism. Bruh. Okay, hold on. Let's go back to Jewish philosophy. Let's click on Jewish philosophy. Remember, I took damn collegiate classes on this shit. Jewish philosophy, any of various kinds of reflective thought engaged in those by identified as being Jews. A brief treatment of the Jewish philosophy follows. Okay, whatever. Middle Ages, blah, 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 blah. And then here it goes right here. Jewish philosophy arose in Judaism under Greek influence. Under Greek influence. Through a philosophical approach and may be discerned in early Jewish religious works, apparently influenced by the Greeks. Well, hold on. No, it may be discerned in earlier works, apparently uninfluenced by the Greeks. So theirs is influenced by the Greeks by comparing it to ones that are uninfluenced by the Greeks. Okay? Like, bruh, the motherfuckers is not going to debate any goddamn body smart. At all. These is Hellenized Jews. They're Greeks. That's what I be saying. Like, how the hell do you like goddamn Gadol beat you up? Like, bro, come on, bro. That's why they will not come around me. They will not.
We'll give a dog credit for getting them out that what's it called again? Well, get him off the JC juice. Basically, he did do that.
Was it him or was it Shane that they felt? How was he giving them shame?
It,
Because that's the thing.
ultimately, Most High.
God. But like, what inspires a nigga to goddamn continue teaching after that? Like, that's what I be saying. Like, yo, like, they've been studying the Tanakh. Well, they don't even be reading the Tanakh. They be arguing against JC. Like, bro, like, we've been putting major work in the Tanakh for years. Like, what? Like, that's why when I asked the question to all of them in all the groups, hey, where are the Torah teachers at? Where? Niggas ain't got no answers. Because all they can do is fight against JC. They can't teach the Torah. They can't teach it Tanakh. They don't know what it's talking about. They only know Judaism. That's it. And then, like, you see that language thing that they be doing. Well, we just read about it in Nehemiah, that shit that they speaking. Goddamn some Ashdodite shit. And hold on, I'll read it real quick. Hold on, I'll read it. Nehemiah 13. And then it's going to be verse 24 and 25. It says, we'll just start at 1. On the day the book of Moses was read in the ears of the people, and it was found written therein that an Ammonite and a Moabite may not enter the congregation forever. Right? Now it says, for they did not come forward to meet with the children of Israel with bread and water, but hired Balaam against them to curse them. But our Elohim turned the curse into a blessing. Now it came to pass when they heard the Torah that they separated all mixtures from Israel. Okay. Now prior to this, isaiYaH, the Kahan, who was appointed to the chamber of the temple of our Elohim, was a kinsman of Tobiah. All right. Now watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Now we're gonna jump down, like, because that's like kind of like a back. Actually, verse 11. So I quarreled with the prefects, and I said, "Why has the temple of Elohim been forsaken?" And I gathered them and stationed them in their place. Okay, so then it says, verse 13, and I appointed treasurers over the treasuries. Shelemiah the Kahan, Zadok the scribe, Pediyah of the Levites, and next to them was Hanan the son of Zakar, the son of Mattaniah, for they were deemed trustworthy, and it was incumbent upon them to distribute to their brethren. Remember me, my Elohim, concerning this, and do not erase my good deeds that I did in the temple of my Elohim and within its watches. Now, okay, watch this. Verse 17, and I quarreled with the dignitaries of Judea and said to them, what is this bad thing that you are doing, profaning the Sabbath day? Well, niggas ain't read that. Verse 18, did your ancestors do this, and our Elohim brought it upon us, all this calamity, and upon the city, and you are increasing the wrath upon Israel by profaning the Sabbath? Now it comes to pass when the gates of Jerusalem cast shadows before the Sabbath, that I commanded and the doors were closed. And I said to them, they should not open upon them until after the Sabbath. And I stationed some of my youth over the gate, so no load should enter on the Sabbath day. So this is where like it says like, okay, never mind. Watch this. And I warned them, and I said to them, why are you lodging opposite the wall? If you repeat this, I shall lay a hand on you. Since that time they did not come on the Sabbath. So you got to beat niggas' asses to keep the Sabbath. Okay. And I commanded the Levites, the watchers of the walls, should purify themselves and come to hallow the Sabbath day. This too remember for me, my Elohim, and have pity on me according to your abundant kindness. That's what it says. Also in those days, I saw the Jews who had married the Ashdai, the Ashdaites, right? Where the Karaites came from, we just read it. The Ammonites and the Moabite women. And half of their children were speaking Ashdai, Ashodi, and did not know how to speak. It says Hebrew, but the word there is not Ivri, it's Yahawadiya. It literally says, where's it at? Yahawadiya, Wakala Lashawan. Yahawadiya, Wakalashawan. The tongue of the Judeans, or actual Jews. It says, and half of their children were speaking Ashudith and did not know how to speak Hebrew, but the actual word is Yahawadiya. And so it was with the language of every people. And I quarreled with them, I cursed them, I struck some of them, I plucked out their hair, I adjured them by Elohim, you shall not give your daughters to their sons, nor take their daughters, either for your sons or for yourselves. Did not Solomon, the king of Israel, sin with these? Although there was no king like him among the great nations, beloved by his Elohim, who appointed him king over Israel, the foreign women caused even him to sin. So shall we then hearken to you to do all this great evil, to betray our Elohim, to marry foreign women? I'm like, yo, watch this. Remember them, my Elohim, that they that defiled the priesthood and the covenant of the priesthood and of the Levites. But I purified them of everything alien, and I appointed watches of the priests and of the Levites, each one in his work. And concerning the wood offering at appointed times, and concerning the first fruits, remember for me, my Elohim, like favorably. And then it goes into Chronicles. All right, First Chronicles. And then it goes into like naming all these names and stuff like that, right? And then all right, it's actually like chapter 2 or 3. It's like 2 or 3. Let me see. Hold on. It's naming like all like Hezekiah, all these. Okay, hold on 1 second. It might be 4. What is it at? Maybe it's 5. Hold on. Okay, hold on. What is it at? Whatever, I can't find it. But basically, actually, never mind. Here it is. And the sons of Reuben, the firstborn of Israel, for he was the firstborn. But when he defiled his father's bed, his birthright was given to the sons of Joseph, the son of Israel, but not to be reckoned in the genealogy as firstborn, because Judah prevailed over his brothers, and the one appointed as prince was to be from him. But the birthright belonged to Joseph. Like these niggas is obsessed with Judah for some reason. Tribe of Judah, tribe of Judah, 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 Judah. Bruh, Joseph is above Judah. And so is Levi. That's why they got it all. That's why they even care about the New Testament so much. Because Judah, 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 Judah. Bruh, who, Brother Soul, who is the Levites' inheritance? All
The Most High.
right, what do the other tribes get? Just land, right?
Yeah, Levi gets a portion of everything.
Exactly. That's why these niggas are preventing themselves from learning. Because they're just putting it upon themselves that they're Judah. Judah, 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 Judah. Zero knowledge of the Most High. Zero knowledge of the temple. Zero knowledge of any damn thing. That's what they're doing to themselves with that damn tribe of Judah stuff. But the Levites, like they're the ones that like kept the charge of the Most High when the rest of them went astray from him. Because even in captivity, they would know what to do. Because the rest of the Judahites were like, "Oh man, how we gonna keep the Sabbath? We can't do sacrifices." And the Levites were like, what the hell are these niggas talking about? We don't need to do that. But yeah, that's like a major thing. Hold on, hold on. Jeroboam, and then here goes. Uh, it's going into the Assyrian stuff now, and then and Yohanan begot Azariah. He is the one who served in the temple that Solomon built in Jerusalem. And then Atihah begot Zadok, and Zadok begot Shalom. And then Azariah begot Sariah, and Sariah begot Yahweh-Zadok. And Yahweh-Zadok went when Yahweh exiled Judah and Jerusalem by the hand of Nebuchadnezzar. Hold on. The sons of Levi, it's going into the lineage of Levi. Here it is. And these are the ones that David stationed to sing in the house of Yahweh, since the ark was deposited. And they were ministering before the tabernacle of the tent of meeting with songs until Solomon built the house of Yahweh in Jerusalem, and they stood according to their custom at their service. Okay, then it goes to like Elkanah, Asaph, Mikael. Hold on, I'm coming right upon it. Okay, and their brethren, the Levites, were appointed for the entire service of the tabernacle of the house of Elohim. And Aaron and his sons were offering on the altar the burnt offerings on the altar of the incense for all the work of the most holy offerings, and to atone for Israel, according to all that Moses, the servant of Elohim, had commanded. Like, yo, like if the tribe of Judah could do anything, how come David didn't atone for their sins? Like, yo, what does it come on? Okay, so Zadok and his son, it says, and these were their settlements in the place of their border. Okay, hold on one second. Where's it at? Because I'm, you see what I'm trying to creep up on. I'm trying to creep up on that damn Zerubbabel shit. All right, hold on. Here it is, verse 49. And the children of Israel gave the Levites the cities and their suburbs. And like the Levites were living amongst the other tribes and shit. But in Ezekiel, they're gonna have their own houses inside of the sanctuary. Like, okay, hold on. Hold on, we creeping up on that shit. Hold on. There's Benjamin, next chapter. And all Israel traced their genealogy, and behold, they are written in the book of kings of Israel. But the Judeans were exiled into Babylon because of their treachery. Hey, yo, brother Soul, who went into Babylon? Uh,
You said what?
Yeah, let me read this again. And all Israel traced their genealogy, and behold, they are written in the book of kings of Israel. But the Judeans were exiled to Babylon because of their treachery. Who went into Babylon?
Judeans.
Khan. So all the other Levites that were with the other tribes did not. And these niggas are gonna disagree with this shit. This is First Chronicles chapter 9.
Yeah, it
This is what
didn't
it
say.
says.
They said Judeans.
Mm-hmm. And all Israel traced their genealogy, and behold, they are written in the book of the kings of Israel. But the Judeans were exiled to Babylon because of their treachery. And the first settlers who were in their inheritance in their cities were the Israelites, the priests, the Levites. But in Jerusalem, there dwelt some of the sons of Judah, and some of the sons of Benjamin, and some of the sons of Ephraim and Manasseh. But the Levites was like, yo, this is what I'm trying to say. Like, what the all right, hold on. We're gonna go into it now. Hold on, watch this. Watch this. And the priests, Jedediah, Jehoiarib, and Yakim, and Azariah, son of Hilkiah, son of Meshalayam, son of Zadok, the son of Mariah, the son of Atihab, ruler of the house of God. Verse 11, ruler of the house of God. Nazayak, it says, Nazayak bayat Allah alahayim. The Nazayak, you already know what that is. Like, okay, anyway, watch this. All right, hold on, watch this. And from here until the king's gate to the east, they are the gate sentries of the camps of the sons of Levi. And Shalom, the son of Kare, the son of Abiasaph, the son of Korah, and his brethren of his father's house, the Korahites, over the work of the service, the guards of the thresholds of the tent, and their fathers over the camp of Yahweh, the guards of the entry. And Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, was ruler over them in time past, Yahweh being with him. Zechariah, the son of Meshelemiah, the gate of sentry, over the entrance of the tent of meeting. All right, hold on, watch this. They were all chosen to be gate sentries in the thresholds 212. They were reckoned by their genealogy in their villages, whom David and Samuel, the seer, established permanently. And they and their sons were in charge of the gates of the house of Yahweh, of the houses of the tent, according to the watches. Watch this. For they were permanently 4 mighty gate sentries. There are the Levites, and they were in charge of the chambers and the treasuries of the house of God. And around the house of God they would lodge, for the watch was incumbent upon them, and they were appointed over the keys and to open the gates every morning. We read about the keys not too long ago. And some of them were in charge of the service vessels. And we already know what that word is for the service vessels, the kilea, the inward parts of man. For they would bring them in by number and take them out by number. And some of them were appointed over the vessels and over all the vessels of the sanctuary and over the fine flour and the wine and the oil and the frankincense and the spices. And some of the sons of the priests were compounders of the mixtures of spices. And then watch this. And some of the sons of the Kehathites of their brethren were in charge of the showbread to prepare every Sabbath. And these are the singers, the heads of the fathers' houses of hold on. And these are the singers, the heads of the fathers' houses of the Levites in the chambers who were exempt for day and night. It is incumbent upon them to engage in the work. These are the heads of the fathers' houses of the Levites over their generation. They were heads. These dwelt in Jerusalem. Now watch this, watch this, watch this. Hold on. We're coming right up on it. Hold on. It's been a long time since we brought this out. Okay. Now it's going into the Philistines fought with Israel, and the men of Israel fled from before the Philistines, and they fell slain on Mount Gilboa. And it's talking about how they were approaching upon Saul or whatever. Transferred the kingdom to David, son of Jesse. That's what it says. Also, in times past, also when Saul was king, you were the one who led Israel out and brought them in. And Yahweh your Elohim said to you, you shall shepherd my people Israel, and you shall be ruler over my people Israel. And the elders of Israel came to the king to Hebron, and David made with them a covenant in Hebron before Yahweh. And they anointed David as king over Israel, according to the word of Yahweh by the hand of Samuel. And David and all of Israel went to Jerusalem, that is Jebus, and there were the Jebusites, the inhabitants of the land. And the inhabitants of Jebus said to David, you shall not come here. And David captured the city of Zion. That is the city of David. So the city of David. Okay. All right. Watch this, watch this, watch this. And these are the chiefs of David's mighty men who held strongly with him in his kingdom, with all Israel to crown him according to the word of Yahweh concerning Israel. All right, hold on. And it was all goddamn the freaking Levites. All right, hold on. Hold on. Watch this, bro. That's what I'm saying. Bro, the fact they even want to debate stupid shit like this is like, hold on. Hold on. Zebulun, Naphtali. Okay, here it is. And David said to the entire congregation of Israel, if it pleases you, and from Yahweh our Elohim, it has been opened, let us send to our brethren remaining in all the lands of Israel, and with them the priests and the Levites in the cities, to open of their open land, and let them gather to us, and let us bring the ark of our Elohim around to us, for we did not seek him in the days of Saul. And all the congregation said to do so because the matter was deemed proper by the whole nation. So he literally put the Levites in charge. All right, here it is. And David and all of Israel went up to Baalah, to Karayath Yavarayam of Judah, to bring up the ark of Elohim, who dwells between the cherubim, upon which the name is called. And they set the ark of Elohim on a new cart from the house of Abinadab, and Uzzah and Ahiel drove the cart. And David and all Israel made merry before Elohim with all their might, and with songs, and with harps, and with psalteries, and with timbrels, and with cymbals and trumpets. The Levites did that. All right, watch this, watch this. Verse 12. And David feared Elohim on that day, saying, how will I bring the ark of Elohim to me? And David did not remove the ark to himself to the city of David, but he set it aside to the house of Obed Edom the Gittite. And the ark of Elohim stayed at the house of Obed Edom 3 months. And Yahweh blessed the house of Obed Edom and all that was his. All right, watch this. We creeping up on it real quick. Hold on. And David made himself houses in the city of David, and he prepared a place for the ark of Elohim, and he pitched a tent for it. Then David said, "It is not proper to carry the ark of Elohim except the Levites, for Yahweh chose them to carry the ark of Elohim and to serve him forever." And David congregated all Israel to Jerusalem to bring up the ark of Yah to its place which he has prepared for it. And David gathered the sons of Aaron and the Levites. Of the sons of Kehath, Uriel the leader and his brethren 120, Merari 220, Gershom 130, Elizaphan 200, Hebron 80, Uziel, Aminadab 112. And David summoned Zadok and Abiathar, the priests, and of the Levites, Uriel, Ashiah, and Yoel, and Shemiah, and Eliel, and Abinadab. And he said to them, "You are the heads of the fathers' houses of the Levites. Prepare yourselves and your brethren, and you shall bring up the ark of Yahweh of Elohim to Israel, to the place I have prepared for it. From the beginning, when you were not the bearers, Yahweh our Elohim made a breach in us, for we did not seek him according to the ordinance." So they're trying to make Judah rule. And the priests and the Levites prepared themselves to bring up the ark of Elohim of Israel. And the sons of the Levites carried the ark of Elohim as Moses commanded, according to the word of Yah, on their shoulders, with staves upon them. So they took up the Torah and bare it on their shoulders. And David said to the Levites, to station their brethren, the singers, with the musical instruments, the psalteries, the harps, the cymbals, resounding to raise a voice of joy. Because those are like the singers or whatnot. Okay, watch this. And it talks about them doing it. And Kenaniah, the leader of the Levites, in song, he would chastise in song because he was an expert. All right, hold on. What's this? And David was enwrapped in a linen robe, and all the Levites who were carrying the ark, and the singers, and Kenaniah, the leader of the singers in the song. And David was in a linen ephod, and all of Israel were bringing up the ark of the covenant of Yah with the sounds of and blasts of the shofar and the trumpets with cymbals, resounding with psalteries and harps. And the ark of the covenant of Yah came up to the city of David, and Michal, the daughter of Saul, peered through a window, and she saw King David dancing and playing, and she scorned him in her heart. All right, hold on. So like that whole dancing like naked thing is like because he was there, but he wasn't like the Levites. He didn't know none of that stuff. All right, hold on. And they brought the ark of Elohim and they set it up in the midst of the tent that David had pitched for it. They burnt offerings, and David finished up doing his offerings. And he distributed every person of Israel, both to men and women, to each individual loaf of bread and a portion of meat and a flask of wine. And he stationed before the ark of Yahweh some of the ministering Levites, and to make mention and give thanks and praise to Yahweh Elohim of Israel. And then it says, and Benaiah and Jehaziel, the priests, with trumpets constantly were before the ark of the covenant of Yah, like doing praises all day. On that day, David ordained to give thanks to Yahweh by the hand of Asaph and his brethren. Give thanks to Yah, call out in his name, make his exploits known among his peoples. Sing to him, play music to him, speak of all his wonders, glory in his name. May the heart of those who seek Yahweh rejoice. Search for Yah and his might, seek his presence constantly. Remember his wonders, which he performed, his miracles, and the judgments of his mouth. The seed of Israel, his servant, the children of Jacob, his chosen ones. He is Yah, our Elohim. Throughout the earth are his judgments. Throughout the earth are his judgments. Remember his covenant forever, the word which he commanded to 1,000 generations, the covenant which he had made with Abraham and his oath to Isaac, and he set it up for Jacob as a statute, to Israel as an everlasting covenant, saying to you, I shall give the land of Canaan at the lot of your inheritance, when there were few in number, hardly dwelling in it, and when they walked from nation to nation, from one kingdom to another people, He let no man oppress them. He reproved kings on their account. Do not touch my anointed ones, and do not harm my prophets. So everyone was supposed to be anointed. Sing to Yah, all the earth, announce his salvation from day to day. Tell of his glory among the nations, among all the people his wonders. For Yah is great and very much praised. He is feared over all Elohims, for all the Elohims of the people are idols. But Yah made the heavens. There is beauty and majesty before him, might and joy in his place. Ascribe to Yah, you families of the peoples. Ascribe to Yah glory and might. Ascribe to Yah the glory of his name. Carry an offering and come before him. Bow down to Yah in the beauty of holiness. Quake before him all the earth. Also the inhabited world will be established so that it will not falter. The heavens will rejoice, the earth will exult, and they will say among the nations that Yah has reigned. The sea and the fullness thereof will roar, the field and all that is therein will jubilate. Then all the forest trees will sing praises before Yah, for he has come to judge the earth. Give thanks to Yah, for he is good, and his loving kindness exists forever. And say, save us, O Allahayim, of our salvation, and gather us, and save us from the nations, to give thanks to your holy name, to triumph in your praise. Blessed is Yah, the Elohim of Israel, from all times past, and to all times to come. And all the people said, Amen, and praised Yah. And he left before the ark of Yah, Asaph and his brethren, to serve before the ark continually, as every day's work required. And it goes, and Zadok the priest and his brethren, the priests, were before the tabernacle of Yah in the high place. And it says, to offer up offerings to Yah upon the altar of the burnt offering constantly in the morning and in the evening, and for all that is written in the Torah of Yah, which he commanded upon Israel. And what's this? Hold on. And all the people went each one to his house, and David returned to bless his household. So like David's rule wasn't even anything without the Levites. That's when they became powerful. When he had the Levites bring the ark and like start to serve the Most High correctly in the land, have somebody there serving him correctly. So it's the same thing what happened when they came out of Babylon. Like it wasn't Zerubbabel that was important, it was Joshua as the high priest. As what it says, now it came to pass when David sat in his house that David said to Nathan the prophet, behold, I dwell in a house of cedars, but the ark of Yah dwells under curtains. And Nathan said to David, this is the same thing like 2 Samuel 7. And Nathan said to David, all that is in your heart do, for Yah is with you. And it came to pass on the same night the word of Yah came to Nathan, saying, go to David, my servant, said Yah, you shall not build me the house in which to dwell. For I have not dwelt in a house from the day I brought up Israel to this day, but I have gone from tent to tent and from tabernacle to another. Wherever I walked among all Israel, I spoke a word with any of the judges of Israel, whom I commanded to shepherd my people, saying, why have you not built me for a house of cedar? And now, so shall you say to my servant David, so saith Yah of hosts, I took you from the sheepcote, from following the sheep, to be a leader over my people Israel. I've gone wherever you've gone, and I shall appoint a place for my people Israel. And then verse 10, it said the same thing as in 2 Samuel 7. And even from the days that I commanded judges over my people Israel, and I vanquished all your enemies, moreover, I tell you that Yah will build you a house. Like, yo, and it will come to pass when your days are finished to go with your forefathers, I shall raise up your seed after you, who will be of your sons, and I shall establish his kingdom. He will build me a house, and I shall establish his throne forever. I shall be to him as a father, he will be to me as a son. I shall not remove my loving kindness from his, as I removed it from you, from him who is before you. And I shall station him in my house and in my kingdom forever, and his throne forever. According to all these things, and then David says, like, watch this. He words it different right here. Remember how it says, like, is this the manner of man to build this house in 2 Samuel 7, the Torah of man? Look how it says it here. King David came and sat before Yah and said to me, and said, "Who am I, O Adonai Elohim, and what is this house that you have brought me this far? As though this was too small a thing in your eyes, O Elohim, but you also spoke of your servant from afar, and you have regarded me in the manner of a man of high degree." Oh, there ain't no degrees in the scripture. Oh, there's none. Oh, really? And you have regarded me in the manner of a man of high degree. See, in 2 Samuel 7, it says, "Is this the Torah of man, the instruction of man, the manner of man, the tarawat of man?" But here he's like, "You regarded me in the manner of a man of high degree, O Adonai Elohim. What more need David seek you to have glory as your servant? For you know your servant." And it's like, yo, like, the whole point is to like build up the house of the Most High. Like that's the whole point. They're tripping. We Judah. We the tribe of Judah, 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 Judah. Oh, really? You know what the tribe of Judah used to do? When somebody's coming with the temple knowledge, Levitical knowledge, they will let them goddamn do their thing. Hey, Shalom, Zai, what's up? Come on, bro. Come on. Come on. I was just reading how, like, okay, 2 Samuel chapter 7, um, how like Nathan was telling what the Most High said to like about the house. And then he says, like, is this the manner of man or the tarawat of man to build this house, the instruction of man? But in First Chronicles 17, it's literally the same thing word for word until it gets to 16 is exactly the same, and 17 it changes at the end. This is what it says. And King David sat before Yah, and he said, "Who am I, O Adonai Elohim, and who is my house? And who is my house that you have brought me thus far? As though this was yet too small a thing in your eyes, O Elohim. But you also spoke of your servant from afar, and you have regarded me in the manner of a man of high degree, O Adonai Elohim." But yeah, like watch when you go to 2 Samuel 7, it's a little bit different. Hold on. So it's a little bit different. 2 Samuel 7. Here it is. It says, verse 18. And the king David went in and sat before Yah, and he said, "Who am I, O Adonai Elohim, and what is my house that you have brought me thus far?" See, in Chronicles, he said, "Who is my house? Who is my house?" But here it says, "What is my house that you have brought me thus far? As though this was yet too small a thing in your eyes, O Adonai Elohim, but you also spoke of your servant's house from afar. Now, is this the manner of man, O Adonai Elohim?" And it says, what is it? Waza'at Tarawat Ha'adam Adonai Yahweh. Is this like the instruction of man, like to build his house? And what more can David say to you? For you know your servant, O Adonai Elohim. For the sake of your word and according to your own heart have you brought about all this greatness to make your servant know it. Yo, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you already know.
Yeah, my bad. I'm walking right now.
What you doing? About to go get some tacos or some shit? Oh no, it's the Shabbat. What you doing? My damn charger. I got caught up reading my phone went all the way down to 1%. Yeah, let me charge up for a little bit because my sound definitely gonna be off with this charger.
But yeah, what was y'all going over, bro?
A whole bunch of stuff. Well, basically, dudes be trying to say that Zerubbabel and Joshua fulfilled the temple in Ezekiel.
That's because they don't read the Torah. That's because you gotta understand Solomon's temple is different from the temple in Ezekiel. It's not the same temple. Like you wouldn't. That's the reason why they'd be like, "Oh, they rebuilt the temple." Like, okay, well, which dimensions did they use? Because if you look at the dimensions that's being used in Ezekiel, those is not the same dimensions used in Solomon. More, I'm coming. Yeah, more is not the same dimension. So how did they build that temple? If that's not the same temple. When we know that if anybody would have built the temple, they would have built Solomon's temple because that was the temple. That was the only temple, the first temple. So if you're gonna rebuild something, wouldn't you be rebuilding it based on the dimensions of Solomon's temple and not Ezekiel? I mean, it only makes sense. Like if you rebuild a temple, it should still have its foundation. So you're just rebuilding the exact same temple, but it just like I said, some people it just don't make sense. It's like, oh, this is the second temple. We built a whole new temple, and that's not what we're talking about. That's not the case. But like I said,
Hey, so what you're saying is that they built a temple, but not the same temple, or was it in a different location? Which one is
no. Okay, listen to what I'm saying, Miguel. So Miguel, what I'm saying is this: if they were to rebuild the temple only could be placed in one place, right? So that means you would have to rebuild it from its foundation or the ashes, right? From wherever it got destroyed. It would still have its foundation there. But the temple in Ezekiel has different dimensions. So what did you do? Did you rebuild the temple somewhere else? Or did you rebuild Solomon's temple, which has the exact same foundations? And the temple in Ezekiel doesn't have those foundations, nor is the same scheme or building plan. They're two different temples.
all right, yeah. So
But
okay, so it is two different temples. Were they built in the same city?
they can't be.
Oh,
That's
but
what I'm saying. They can't be.
does the scripture points to that by any chance?
Well, no. It's only one temple. Like, okay, so this is where I would say, no, it doesn't particularly point to that. But what I'm saying is if they destroy Solomon's temple, right, there would still be some form of foundation there, right? You would just rebuild Solomon's temple. You wouldn't build the temple in Ezekiel because the temple in Ezekiel is smaller than Solomon's temple.
No,
Solomon's
like I said,
temple. No,
I'm
I
not
get what you're saying.
arguing. I'm not
I
against
know,
what
I
you're
know.
saying. Just to make just no, because I was thinking like, what if? Okay, here's the $1 million question. What if we built a temple? Would we be going off if we built a temple?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say that we would be going off, but I would say yeah in a sense because the Most High said that this was his temple. This is the temple that he commanded Solomon to build and David. And Ezekiel's temple is not commanded to be built. Like that's not the temple he's talking about. Like
Right. So
Ezekiel's temple and Solomon's temple is two different temples.
right. So following that narrative, what was the purpose of that temple?
This was a temple to teach you about the inward man. That's the reason why. Matter of fact, all right, let's bring it out. Menelec, grab me Ezekiel 43 and 10. Let's start at verse
Yeah,
7.
I got it. I got that shit
Okay,
in the
before
memory
you
bank.
go into
Hold on.
the inward temple part, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I love those crystals. You could bring that out every night. I don't care. I just want to know something. Was it a physical temple built? It was a physical temple, right?
Yeah, it was a physical temple that was built.
All right, thank you. Yeah, just go ahead, go ahead. Bring out the scripture.
Yeah, Ezekiel 43:7 would say, Son of man, this is the place of my throne, and this is the place of the soles of my feet, where I shall dwell amongst the children of Israel forever.
Keep going.
Oh, hold on. Let me go to it because I don't know. I forgot what's in between it. All the wall is in
Actually,
between.
let's
Hold on, give
start
me a
it.
second.
Let's just do the whole breakdown. Just break it out from verse 1. Let's just go to verse 1.
All right, Ezekiel 43 from verse 1. And I know my volume's kind of down, but and he led me to a gate that faced eastward, and behold, the glory of Elohim of Israel came from the way of the east, and its sound was like the sound of abundant waters, and the earth shone from his glory. And it was like the appearance of the vision that I saw, as the vision that I saw when I came to destroy the city, and visions like the vision that I saw by the river
So let's
Kabar.
establish
And
that first. It's a vision. Let's establish that first. Continue. I'm gonna break it down very
Khan,
simple.
Khan, and the glory of Yah came to the house by the way of the gate that faced eastward. And a Rawak lifted me up and brought me to the inner court. And behold, the glory of Yah filled the house. And I heard him speaking to me from the house, and a man was standing beside me. And Yah said to me, Son of man, this is the place of my throne, and this is the place of the soles of my feet, where I shall dwell in the midst of the children of Israel forever. And the house of Israel will no longer defile my holy name, they and their kings with their harlotry, and with the corpses of their kings in their high places, by placing their threshold with my threshold, and their doorpost beside my doorpost, and the
All
wall
right,
was
stop right
between
there.
me and them.
Stop right there. So when he says I should put my threshold against their threshold and their doorpost against my doorpost, this isn't talking about a physical building. This is that's the whole entire thing because when you read it in English, it does say it does use the word house. But when you use, the Hebrew and stuff like that, it says temple or sanctuary. Like it has nothing to do with a physical act. Now, the people who interpreted and built the second temple, kudos to them. But at the end of the day, what this verse was talking about was not what they were supposed to be, building or however they tried to interpret it. Like I ain't gonna go into like a super in-depth breakdown on it or nothing like that. I'm gonna just try to keep it as simple as possible. So read that again.
Gone. And they shall no longer defile my holy name with their kings and their harlotry, and with the corpses of their kings in their high places, by placing their threshold with my threshold, and their doorpost beside my doorpost, and the wall was
So
between me
what is
and
now
them.
stop right there. Hold on. So now the question is like, okay, where is the Most High's threshold? And what does that actually mean? Then the next question is, where is his doorpost? Keep going.
Gone. And the wall was between me and them. And they defiled my holy name with their abominations which they committed, and I destroyed them with my wrath. Now they shall distance their harlotry and the corpses of their kings from me, and I shall dwell among them forever. You, son of man, describe the house to the house of Israel, that they
Hold
may
up.
be
Stop right
ashamed of
there.
their.
He said that he shall dwell amongst them forever. But as we go into other prophecies, doesn't it state that he cast aside Israel and he wouldn't have nothing to do with them and he would like basically in a sense give them to their enemies? But in this, he said in this vision where he's saying where his throne is, he said he shall dwell amongst the children of Israel forever. And that forever means like the rainbow forever, olam, which some people They just try to use the regular definition where it just says a times time or forever. But no, if you actually go through the concordinates and you actually look it up, it actually means everlasting, like the rainbow covenant. Continue.
Now it says, "You, son of man, describe the house to the house of Israel, that they may be ashamed of their iniquities, and let them measure its plan. And if they are ashamed of all they have done, let them know the form of the house and its scheme, its exits and its entrances, and all its
So
forms and
stop right
go
there.
ahead.
So is this talking to one Israelite or is it talking to the house of Israel? It says describe the house to the house of Israel. What house is he talking about? A physical building? Like, so if I describe a physical building to you, and I'm saying this is the temple, and let you be ashamed of your iniquities, how can you be ashamed of your iniquities in a temple that's already destroyed? You can't be ashamed of your iniquities in a temple that's destroyed because you know nothing about it. This is something that you don't know because you haven't experienced it. Now, was this written for his time? No. This is a future prophecy. Why? We'll go into the next chapter. We'll prove that it's a future prophecy. Continue.
Come on, bring up Isaac too. Shalom. And if they are ashamed of all they have done, let them know the form of the house, and its scheme, and its exits, and its entrances, and all its forms, and all its Torah, and all its teachings, and write it down in their sight, so that they keep the whole form thereof, and the Torah thereof, and to perform it.
Okay,
This,
wait, stop right there. So in Ezekiel 36 talks about you shall write these words upon your heart and upon your your soul and your mind. Same thing in Deuteronomy, right? So if you're supposed to write down the temple schemes, its exits, the laws, and everything, where are you supposed to put it? Like, if the temple is destroyed, and we don't even know where the temple really is, for the most part, none of us do. Where are we supposed to write these things down at? Where are we supposed to put these things? We don't know where the physical temple is. Now, some people say South Africa, some people say Jerusalem, and they still ain't built it. Some people say, it's in Ethiopia. Some people say it's here or it's there. But in the grand scheme of things, none of us know where it is. So where you're supposed to write these things down, the house of Israel, because it's not talking to just one Israelite or a certain group of Israelites. It's not just talking to the Zadokim or it's not just it's talking to all. Continue.
gone. And I see your comment down there as well. So we'll start another room in 1 second. So say, this is the teaching of the house. Upon the top of the mountain, all its boundary round about shall be most holy. Behold, this
Stop
is the
right there.
teaching of the
Stop
house.
right there. So it says, at top of the mountaintop, it shall be most holy. So where was the temple placed at? Does anybody know?
On the
Continue.
foundations, yeah. Come on, okay, let's go.
Foundation of what though? What mountain was the temple actually placed on? A lot of people don't know, but yeah,
The
continue.
mind, the mind. Mm. Say, this is the teaching of the house. It's the house of Yahweh. Where does Yahweh live? So it's like the teaching of the kingdom of heaven. Upon the top of the mountain, all his boundary round about shall be most holy. Behold, this is the teaching of the house. And it's saying let's read it properly. Za'at, this is the Torah of the house, or the Torah, like the house of Yahweh. Upon the top of the mountain, all its boundary round about shall be most holy. Behold, this is the Torah of the house. And these are the measure. You want to go into the measurement? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You want to go into the measurements too, or no?
No, I won't go. I won't go. I won't go that far deep into it where I'm trying to break down the cubits and all that stuff. But if you want to skip that part, because then it's gonna go into all the measurements and all the basins and gold and the silver and stuff like that. Which
Come.
I'm gonna keep it as simple as possible. So I'm not even gonna go in depth.
All right.
I
So
think
this,
it's but the last few verses in the chapter. the last few verses of the chapter should kind of explain more, and then we could go straight into 44 because it's the exact same vision, it's the exact same breakdown in 44.
Con, I got you. And he said to me, Son of man, thus saith Yahweh Elohim, these are the ordinances of the altar on the day when it will be made, to offer burnt offerings thereon and to sprinkle blood thereon. So when he says these are ordinances, it's his commands. And you shall give it to the Kahan, the Levites, who are of the seed of Zadok, who are near to me, says Yahweh Elohim, to serve me, a young bull for a sin offering. And you shall take of its blood and place it on its four horns, and on the four corners of the upper edge, and to the border around, and you shall purify it to make it fit for atonement. And you shall take the bull of the sin offering, and he shall burn it at the end of the house outside the sanctuary. And on the second day you shall offer a he goat without blemish for a sin offering, and they shall purify the altar as they purified it with the bull. When you have completed the purification, you shall bring near a young bull without a blemish and a ram without blemish from the flock, and you shall offer them before Yahweh, and the priest shall cast salt upon them and offer them up to Yahweh as a burnt offering. For 7 days you shall, hey little girl, lay down, it's bedtime, and be quiet, please,
Hmm?
it's night time. And I'm telling her to go to sleep. I'm in here trying to make her go to sleep. Hey, lay down and be quiet, please. Night time. Okay. For 7 days shall you make a he goat for sin offering every day, and a young bull and a ram from the flock without blemish shall they make. For 7 days they shall effect atonement for the altar and to purify it and dedicate it. And when they have completed the days, then it shall be okay. I want to point this out as well. For 7 days shall they effect atonement for the altar and purify it and dedicate it. King David, when he dedicated, King Solomon, when he dedicated the temple, he didn't do it on the altar because the altar was too small. He did it on like the courtyard floor, and he dedicated it in one day. This altar is like much bigger, and they have multiple cooking spots. And they actually do they dedicate the temple on the altar. So it says, for 7 days shall they effect atonement for the altar and purify it and dedicate it. And when they have completed the days, then it shall be on the 8th day, and thenceforth the priest shall make your burnt offerings and your peace offerings on the altar, and I will accept you with satisfaction, says Yahweh. So another important thing, when they got brought back to Babylon to that temple, the Most High already accepted them before when they got out of Babylon. So right here, this is us coming to something that's already going to be built, and then He's going to accept us. All right, so let's keep going. Where you want to go at 44?
Just go ahead and go to the next, just read the next chapter. We just might as well just
Con,
read the whole thing.
con.
Because
And he brought me
they
back,
think that,
and he
hold
con,
on,
and he
real
brought
quick,
me.
I want to say this because like even when you go into like all the dimensions and even the stuff that you was just bringing out, like a lot of the times like people think it's the same exact dimensions and altar. Like you got to understand, like Solomon's temple was decked out. Like when you read with the pomegranates and they don't even know what that stuff means, bro. Like the pomegranates and the lilies and the cherubim and bro, this temple don't got none of that. Like this temple is a different temple, but yeah, just continue, continue.
Con. And he brought me back by the way of the outer sanctuary gate that faced eastward, and it was closed. By the way, this temple has several entrances and exits, and I'm not just talking about the gates, but several entrances and exits of the temple itself, and none of the other temples had that. And Yahweh said to me, this gate shall be closed, it shall not be open, and no man shall come through it. For Yahweh Elohim of Israel comes through it, and it shall be closed. The prince
Quick
I
question
permit.
right there. Quick question right there. When did Yahweh ever come to Solomon's temple? I could have sworn he told David, "I don't dwell in temples made with man's hand." I could have sworn he never came to the temple. This temple he visited frequently, and he has a special door for himself. Continue.
Gone. The prince I permit, he is a prince, and is isaiYaH, so the ruler or the king. He shall sit therein to eat bread before Yahweh. By the way of the hall of the gate he shall come, and by the way he shall leave. And he brought me by the way of the northern gate before the house, and I saw that, behold, the glory of Yahweh filled the house of Yahweh. And I fell upon my face. And Yahweh said to me, Son of man, mark well, see with your eyes and hear with your ears all that I am speaking of you, regarding all the statutes of the house of Yahweh and regarding all its Torah. And you shall mark well the entrance of the house with all its exits of the sanctuary. And you shall say to the rebellious people, to the house of Israel, so saith Yahweh Elohim, you have done enough of all your abominations, O house of Israel, by bringing aliens of uncircumcised heart and uncircumcised flesh to be in my sanctuary, to profane my house, by offering up my food, fat, and blood, and they broke my covenant in addition to all your abominations. And also, right here, when did we ever have priests that were of uncircumcised flesh serving in the temple? This never happened with Ezekiel. This never happened with anybody else. This is after, way after the Greeks and the Seleucids, and way after the Romans. You see what I'm saying? This is dealing with when the priesthood got usurped. All right. You did not keep watch of my holy things, and you appointed keepers of my watch and my sanctuary. So saith, and this is talking about we are choosing our own priests for some reason. So saith Yahweh Elohim, no alien of uncircumcised heart or no alien of uncircumcised flesh may enter my sanctuary, and of any alien who is in the midst of the children of Israel. Only the Levites who distance himself from me when Israel stray from me after their idols, and they shall bear their iniquity. And they shall be ministers in my sanctuary, appointed over the gates of the house. They shall slaughter the burnt offering and the sacrifices for the people, and they shall stand before them to serve them, because they served them before their idols, and were for the house of Israel as a stumbling block of iniquity. Therefore I lifted my hand upon them, says Yahweh Elohim, and they shall bear their iniquity, and they shall not approach me to serve me, or to approach all my hallowed things in addition to the most holy things. And they shall bear their disgrace and abominations which they
Quick
committed.
question right there. Quick question. So it says that they shall not approach me to serve me. Didn't in the Greek and Roman times we had a bunch of high priests that said they served the Most High, and they were doing His will and His work. This falls into the New Testament era. Like, we had these so-called Levites, right? Well, they weren't even Levites; they were Pharisees. Some of them were Levites. I ain't gonna sit there and say not all of them. Some of them were Levites. Some of them. Were. We had all of these different priests talking about they was serving the Most High, and they wasn't. Because guess what? There were a bunch of people who had a bunch of groups, kind of like now, that didn't know what they was doing, and they was doing whatever that they felt was right. Things ain't changed in the last 3,000. Continue.
Gone. Now it says, but the other priests, the Levites, the sons of Zadok, who kept the charge of my sanctuary when the children of Israel went astray from me, they shall come near to me to minister to me, and they shall stand before me to offer me the fat and the blood, says Yahweh Elohim. They shall enter my sanctuary, and they shall approach my table to minister to me, and they shall keep my charge. And it shall be when they enter the gates of the inner court, they shall be clothed with linen garments, and no wool shall be upon them when they minister the gates of the inner court. And within, linen hats shall
So
be upon their
another
heads.
question. So where are the sons of Zadok at that's supposed to be keeping the charge? Who are they? Where are they at? I don't hear nobody saying that they're the son of Zadok. I hear people saying that they're the son of Judah. People saying they're the son of Levi, but not Zadok. I wonder why. Where did they just disappear to? Continue.
Gone. Linen hats shall be upon their heads, and linen breeches shall be upon their loins. They shall not gird themselves in a place that sweats. But when they go out to the outer court, to the outer court to the people, they shall put off their garments wherein they minister, and place them in the chambers belonging to the sanctuary. and clothe themselves with other garments, and they shall not sanctify the people with their garments. And the hair of their heads they are not to shave, but also to not let it grow wild. They must be careful to trim the hair of their heads. And wine may no priest drink when they come into the inner court. And neither a widow nor a divorced woman may they take for wives, but they shall take virgins from the descendants of the house of Israel. Also the widow who is only a widow, and some of the priests may marry them. And my people shall they teach the difference between the holy and the profane, and cause them to discern between the impure and the pure. And they in dispute in and in dispute they shall stand in judgment according to my ordinances, they shall decide it, and my Torah and my statutes they shall keep in all my appointed times, and my Sabbaths shall they sanctify. To no human corpse shall they come to defile themselves, except to father, to mother, and to son, and to daughter, brother, and to sister who had no husband, they shall defile themselves. And after this purification, they shall count 7 days for him. And on the day that he enters the sanctuary into the inner court to minister in the sanctuary, he shall offer his sin offering, says Yahweh. And it shall be to them for an inheritance. I am their inheritance. You shall give them no possession in Israel. I am their possession. To the meal offering and the sin offering and the guilt offering are they to eat, and everything that is vowed to be banned in Israel shall belong to them. And the first of all first fruits, and every heave offering, every sort of your heave offering shall belong to the priest. And the first out of your kneading trough shall you give to the priest, to bring enduring blessing into your home. Anything that has died of itself or is fatally wounded, whether it be bird or beast, the priest may not eat.
And the funny thing too is that the last son of Zadok, they call him a Greek. A lot of people don't believe in him. They don't even think he was a real person. He was the last high priest, Onias the third. But you talk about Onias the third, people act like you talking about blasphemy. He was the last Zadokite high priest from the line of Zadok. So if he was the last one that we know about, where are the other ones at? Who are they? Let's go to verse. Let's actually go to chapter 45.
Come. And when you divide the land by lot for inheritance, you shall set aside an offering to Yahweh wholly from the land, its length 25,000 and its width 10,000. It is holy within all the borders around. For from this shall be for the sanctuary 500 by 500 square around, and 50 cubits open land for it around. And with this measurement shall you measure the length 25,000 and the width 10,000. And it shall be the sanctuary, the holy of holies. It is the holy portion of the land. It shall be for the priests, the ministers of the sanctuary who come near to serve Yahweh, and it shall be for them a place for houses, and the hallowed part of the sanctuary.
Hey, hold on. Man, look, when did this ever happen? When did they ever go back into the land and set aside the new part of the land for a holy sanctuary of some sort that was never built? When did they do that?
Never.
I don't know. I don't know, man. Like, you gotta help me out, bro. I don't know when they ever went into the land and, it was 2 times the size of the same land that they had before, and they did all this set apart holy stuff for the sanctuary, and only the Levites dwelt there. Man, it kind of
That was
sound like
during Nehemiah's time, brother. Nehemiah building the
Nehemiah.
second temple. Yeah,
Nehemiah.
Nehemiah.
You sure?
That's what everybody says. I haven't read it yet.
Oh, okay, okay. Because we're gonna keep reading again. We're gonna go through these other 2 chapters, and we're gonna see if their borders touch all the waters of the sea. And we're gonna see if this set apart holy land ever came to pass yet. Because you gotta understand, in 46 and 47, it tells you the borders of all the tribes, and it tells you that it goes from one end of the sea to the other end of the sea, and that ain't never happened.
Hey, I see in Jerusalem that Wailing Wall, people be bond to it, and that's a temple right there, brother. The Wailing Wall.
You mean that old Roman fort? Yeah, okay.
Oh yeah, it was that too, brother. It was that too. It was both.
It was both. It was
Now
both
bring it
of
out,
them,
bring
huh?
it out. I'm gonna mute up. I'm gonna mute up.
Go ahead. Go ahead, man. Bring
You're
that
not
out.
being spiritual. That's the temple. All right, hold on. Here it is. It's a so All right, so if y'all were paying attention earlier, like right before Zion came in, and measured out the land inheritance for the children of Israel, and it was 19,000 for the gates. At least the gates all around was 19,000, right? Right here it say, and with this measurement shall you measure the length 25,000 and the width 10,000, and it shall be the sanctuary, the holy of holies. So this is like a huge place. It is the holy portion of the land. It shall be for the priests, the ministers of the sanctuary who come near to serve Yahweh, and it shall be for them a place for houses, and the hallowed part shall be for the sanctuary. And 25,000 in length and 10,000 in width shall be for the Levites, the ministers of the house, for them for a possession, 20 chambers. And for the property of the city you shall give a width of 5,000 and a length of 25,000, corresponding to the offering of the holy portion. For this, for the entire house of Israel it shall be, and for the prince on either side of the offering corresponding to the holy portion and of the possession of the
uh,
city,
hey, yo,
alongside.
man, hold on real quick, man. Like, hey, in a minute, they going to say I'm blasphemous because I'm going to say I'm Jesus. You know, my father's house has many mansions. Ooh, damn. Keep going.
Yeah, Ezekiel's, Jesus stole Ezekiel's teachings. That's facts. All right, here it is. It say, of the holy portion and alongside the possession of the city from the western side, westward, and from the eastern side, eastward, and the length of the opposite of the parts from the western border to the eastern border. In the land he shall have it for a possession in Israel, and my princes shall no longer defraud my people. And the land they shall give to the house of Israel to their tribes. When did the kings of Israel defraud the people from their land? Miguel, you know that's what they
I
doing
don't
now. You know that's what they doing now, Miguel. This ain't never happened yet. This right here was future. This was future prophecy.
Yeah, I can't refute anything right now. I got a bad connection, and you coming in low on my end. It could be my phone, so I can't really answer questions. I'm gonna mute up though.
Oh no, here it is. I should sound a little better now. All right. So it's a in the land he shall have it for a possession in Israel, and my
hold
princes.
on real quick, real quick. Okay. You got to understand this too because Isaac just said that they tried to say he was a prince. Okay. You got to understand, they don't understand Hebrew. So when it says the word isaiYaH, it is not talking about a king or a governor. It's talking about a high priest. It's not talking about a regular king. It's talking about a high priest, not David, someone that's coming from the line of Zadok, who's a high priest like Onias the third. He's a isaiYaH, anointed high priest, not just a regular high priest, but the top office of high priest, meaning he's at the top. He's higher than the king. The king was never the highest in Israel. Continue.
Come, this will say, in the land he shall have it for a possession in Israel, and my princes shall no longer defraud my people, and the land they shall give to the house of Israel to their tribes. So saith Yahweh Elohim. Actually, it said Adonai Yahweh. Enough, princes of Israel. Remove violence and plunder, and perform justice and righteousness, and take away your evictions from my people, says Yahweh. You shall have honest scales, an honest ephah, and an honest bath. The ephah and the bath shall have one volume, and the bath shall contain a tenth part of the homer, and a tenth part of the homer is the ephah. According to the homer shall be its volume. And me and Isaac went through this right here on how like the money in Babylon and the money right here. when they can't, was different. And the shekel is 20 gera, 20 shekels, 25 shekels, and 15 shekels shall be the money be to you. This is the offering that you shall set apart, a sixth of an ephah from a homer of wheat, and you shall separate a sixth of an ephah from a homer of barley. And the rule of the oil is as follows: the bath, which is a measure of oil, the tithe of a bath is from a core. 10 baths are a homer, for 10 baths are a homer, and one lamb from the flocks out of 200. From Israel's banquet for a meal offering, for a burnt offering, for a peace offering to atone for them, says Yahweh. And it shall be incumbent of all the people of the land to give this oblation to the prince in Israel. And the burnt offerings, the meal offerings, the libations, on the festivals, and the new moons, and on the Sabbaths, and on all the fixed times for the tent of meeting. For the fixed times for the meeting of the house of Israel shall devolve on the prince. Wait. And the burnt offerings and the meal offerings and the libations on the festivals and the new moons and on the Sabbaths and on all the times fixed for meetings of the house of Israel shall devolve on the prince. He shall prepare the sin offering and the meal offering and the burnt offering and the peace offering to effect atonement for the house of Israel. So saith Adonai Yahweh, in the first month, on the first of the month, you shall take a young bull without blemish, and you shall purify the sanctuary. And the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering and put it on the doorpost of the house, and on the four corners of the ledge on the altar, and on the doorpost of the gate of the inner court. And so shall you do on the 7 days in the month because of mistaken and simple minded men, and expiate the house. In the first, on the
Hey,
14th
hold
day
on.
of the month.
Let's see what that word actually means. What does that word mean? Expiate.
Hey, my connection's a little bit better now. Are we at the physical temple? Or are we still talking about the spiritual temple?
It's still spiritual.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because
It's
it gets a
both.
little bit.
Hold on. It's both. See, this is the thing, right? Christians and Jewish people, they differentiate what is spiritual and what is literal. The Most High, the whole thing is spiritual and the whole thing is literal. The spiritual is just as literal as the what they would call physical.
All right, I don't, that's a little bit confusing for me. I'm a little bit slow. All right, so what the hell is that? That's someone's alarm. All right, there was a temple, a second temple built, right, in history,
But it was not
Yeah,
this.
that's what they got. That's what they got Hanukkah for.
Yeah, but
but
it was not this.
it was not this temple. Okay, I got it. So now, when he goes into the sacrifice and putting the blood on the post, is that something that was said for that temple that was built, or are we still talking about speaking like in metaphors?
So let's look at
It's
this word
both.
real quick, right? It says, and it shall expiate the temple, right? So this is the third person present, past tense, expiate, past particle, gerund or present particle, expiating, atone or guilt or sin. Their sins must be expiated by sacrifice, right? This is a 16th century Latin word. So it's used in the third person, right? So in Isaiah 53, it's telling you that you have to make what? Your soul a sin offering. This is what that's talking about in Isaiah 53, making your soul a sin offering, meaning that you have to admit that you're guilty. This is the reason why in the other chapter he was talking about he shall put his doorpost against your doorpost and your threshold against his threshold, meaning that you're going to admit all your iniquities and you're going to atone for yourself and your sin. This is what Hosea 6 is talking about. So, yes, there will be a physical temple built, but it won't be in these dimensions. The Most High is not going to change where He located the temple and where people dedicate sin offerings to. That's why He put His name there. Like it's not going to change. It's this temple that they dedicated for Hanukkah and all of that. That's what the ordinance is for. That's what that's for. That's them trying to do the right thing, which I don't condemn nobody for trying to do the right thing. But they rededicated the temple in their way. They didn't do it this way that Ezekiel is talking about. When you read it in the Apocrypha, they did not do the stuff that Ezekiel did. Ask them to show you this verse in Ezekiel or this chapter in Ezekiel, and ask them to show you how he did that dedication in the Apocrypha. It's not the same. But that's what
That's
happens
a
when
good,
you
right. That's a good point, and it came to mind. So this new covenant that where he will put the laws in our inward parts. Will you say that this is referred? This is why we also can we put join this together? Because
Mm-hmm. This is that. This is that. Exactly.
okay,
This is
got
that.
got it. All right, I'm
That's
gonna mute up.
exactly right, Miguel. This is that. This is putting the laws in your inward parts. That's why he's saying write it down in their sights so that they may know to keep the whole thing. This is exactly what he's talking about. But
Yeah, the Torah, literally, the temple is used to teach the Torah. It's a teaching tool. So that's why he had Ezekiel show them a house that has not been built yet, for them to understand and contemplate what the house actually is. And the foundation of the house, as you say, like the round about the mountain shall be most holy. The foundation stone of the holy of holies is like where like Jacob like laid his head on the stone. It's like the same thing. It's like the foundation of the house is actually having like a dedicated heart and mind to do what Yahweh say in the first place.
exactly. I am the stone that the builder refused. How that shit go in the boondocks? I am the stone that the builder refused. The intellectual. The yeah, yeah. That. That's what that's talking about. Continue, man. Like
God, I got you. All right, so let's say, damn, this screen is kind of bright. All right, let me turn this down a little bit. All right, so let's say, and so shall you do on 7 days in the month because of mistaken and simple minded man, and expiate the house. But on the first, on the 14th day of the month, you shall have the Passover, a feast of 7 days. Unleavened bread shall be eaten. And the prince shall make on that day for himself and for all the people of Israel a bull for a sin offering. And on the 7 days of the festival, he shall make a burnt offering to Yahweh, 7 bulls, 7 rams without blemish daily for 7 days, and a sin offering, a he goat daily. And a meal offering, he shall make an ephah for a bull and an ephah for a ram, and for each ephah 1 hin of oil. And on the 7th of each
dang,
month, on the 15th day,
did the Rubabel do that daily?
hell no, he didn't do not one of them.
Yeah, okay, get to you.
Yeah, you type in Zubarubabel and sacrifice, you ain't gonna find none. So let's just say, in the 7th month, on the 15th day of the month, on the festival, he shall do the same for 7 days. A similar sin offering, a similar burnt offering, and a similar meal offering, and similar oil. That's it.
Next chapter.
Come. So saith Adonai Yahweh, the gate of the inner court that face toward the east shall remain closed the 6 working days, but on the Sabbath it shall be open, and on the new moon it shall be open. And the prince shall enter by the way of the vestibule of the gate without, and he shall stand at the doorpost of the gate, and the priest shall offer his burnt offering and his peace offering, And he shall prostrate himself at the threshold of the gate and go out, but the gate shall not be closed until evening. And the people of the land shall also prostrate themselves at the entrance of the gate on the Sabbaths and on the new moons before Yahweh. And on the burnt offering which the prince offers to Yahweh, on the Sabbath shall be 6 lambs without blemish and a ram without blemish. Dang, he's still going, huh, Zion?
Yeah.
And as and as a meal offering, 1 ephah for the ram and for the lambs, a meal offering as he is able to, as a hin of oil of the ephah. But on the new moon, a young bull without blemish, and 6 more lambs and a ram without blemish are they to be. And an ephah for the bull and an ephah for the ram he shall bring as a meal offering for the lambs as much as he can afford, and of a hin of oil to an ephah. And whenever the prince goes in, he shall go in by the way of the vestibule by the gate, and by the same way he shall go out, because this temple got several entrances and exits. But when the people of the land come before Yahweh on the times fixed for meeting, he who enters by the way of the northern gate to prostrate himself shall go out by the way of the south gate. That he enters by the way of the south gate shall he go out by the way of the north gate. He shall not return by the way of the gate whereby he came in, but he shall go out by which that is opposite of it. The prince also then enters among them when they go in and when they go out. They and the prince and the people together go out. And on the festivals and on the time fixed for meeting, the meal offering shall consist of an ephah for a bull and an ephah for a ram. But for the lambs, a gift which is in accordance to his means, and a oil, and a hin to an ephah. When the prince brings a free will offering, a burnt offering or a peace offering, as well as a free will offering to Yahweh, one shall then open for him the gate that faces east. And he shall bring his burnt offering and his peace offering as he does on the Sabbath day, and after he has gone out, one shall close the gate, because there's multiple cooking spots, and we're about to get to it right here. And a lamb of the first year without blemish shall you bring as a burnt offering daily to Yahweh. Every morning shall you bring it. And as a meal offering, you shall bring it every morning as a sixth of an ephah and a third of a hin of oil, and stir the fine flour, a meal offering to Yahweh, according to the perpetual ordinance. Thus shall they bring the lamb and the meal offering and the oil every morning, a continual offering. So saith Yahweh Allahayim. If the prince give it, hey, hold on. Somebody take over reading for me. At verse 16. I got something in my eye.
Where you
We at
where we stop at?
46, verse 16. And I was reading from the Kabbalah.
Oh, okay. I just got my KJV, so I'll start it from there. Thus saith Yahweh Elohim, if the prince give a gift unto any of his sons, the inheritance thereof shall be his sons. It shall be their possession by inheritance. But if he give a gift of his inheritance to one of his servants, then it shall be his to the year of liberty, well, Jubilee. After it shall return to the prince, but his inheritance shall be his sons for them. Moreover, the prince shall not take of the people's inheritance by oppression. Dang, what happened after the Zerubbabel? Ah, that's light. To thrust them out of their possession, but he shall give his sons inheritance out of his own possession, that may people be not scattered every man from his possession. After he brought me through the entry, which was at the side of the gate, into the holy chamber of the priest, which looks toward the north. Dang, I didn't know Zerubbabel could enter the holy chambers of a priest. And behold, there was a place on the two sides westward. Then said he unto me, this is the place where the priest shall boil the trespass offering and the sin offering, where they shall bake the meat offering, that they bear them not out into the utter courtyard to sanctify the people. Then he brought me forth into the utter courtyard and caused me to pass through the four corners of the court. And dang, this got a lot of courtyards to be Solomon's temple. And behold, in every corner of the courtyard there was a court. In the four corners of the court there were courts joined of 40 cubits long and 30 boards. These four corners were of one measure. Mm. And there was a row of buildings round about in them, round about them four. And I didn't know that this was built in Zerubbabel's time. And it was made with boiling places under the rows round about it. Then he said unto me, these are the places of them that boil, where the ministers of the house shall boil the sacrifices of the people. Now it gets very interesting in 47. Afterwards he brought me again unto the door of the house, and behold, waters issue out from under the threshold of the house eastward. For the forefront of the house stood towards the east. Wonder why it stood towards the east. And the waters came down from the right side, the right side of the house at the south side of the altar. Dang, water is coming out of the altar? Uh, didn't know that that was possible. Then brought
Wait, wait,
me
wait, wait,
he
wait,
out.
wait, 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 wait. The goofy ass brothers, which I love them, right? They was talking about the waters was an actual river, Zaya, and they built the temple around it. Can you say where the water came from again?
Oh, shit. Oh, and the waters came down from under the right side of the house at the south side of the altar. Didn't know that the altar could just gush out water. Okay. Then brought he me out of the way of the gate northward, and led me about the way without unto the utter gate by the way that looketh eastward. And behold, there ran out waters on the
Wait,
right
wait, wait, wait,
side.
wait, 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 wait. Rewind, rewind. Let me read this one more time, Zaya. Hold on. Shalom, scatter. Let me read this one more time.
Then brought he me out of the way of the gate northward, and led me about the way without unto the utter gate by the way that looketh eastwards. And behold, there ran out waters on the right side.
From the south of the altar. And he
From the
took me
south
out
side of the
from the altar. So it wasn't an actual river and they built it around. It's coming from the Torah.
dip.
Oh, okay. All right, my bad. Keep going.
And when the man that had the line in his hand went forth eastward, dang, so a man came out, had a, okay, I guess a man actually did this. And when the man came that had the line in his hand went forth eastward, he measured 1,000 cubits, and he brought me through the waters. Dang, so this is some pretty deep water. The waters were to the ankles, and he measured 1,000 and brought me
Wait, wait, wait,
through
wait,
the
wait, wait,
water.
wait, wait, wait. Wait, wait. So he was walking, the man showed him the path of the water, and the water started touching his ankles after how many feet?
Yeah.
A
Yeah,
thousand
after
feet. So
1,000.
he was doing what? Walking on the water.
Exactly.
1,000
Mm.
feet. All right, keep going, keep going.
And he measured 1,000 and brought me through the waters. The waters were to the knees. And he measured 1,000 and brought me through the waters were to the loins. Afterward, he measured 1,000, and it was a river that I could not pass over. For the waters were risen, waters to swim in, a river that could not be passed over. And he said unto me, Son of man, hast thou seen this? Then he brought me and caused me to return to the brink of the river. Now, when I had returned, behold, at the bank of the river were very many trees on the one side and the other. Dang, so he brought you back. You're looking back out at the bank.
You did a good job. You did a good job. Can we? Can I read with you, brother?
Yeah, hold on. Let me read Psalms 1 through 3. Psalms 1, verse 1 through 3. We're going to see what these trees are. The praises of a man are that he does not sit in the company of sinners or scorners, but his desire is in the Torah of Yahweh, and in his Torah he shall meditate day and night. He shall be as a tree planted beside the river of water that bring forth its fruit in season, and the leaves do not wither away. Isaiah, read what's happening in Ezekiel 47.
Now, when I had returned, behold, at the bank of the river were very many trees on one side and the other side. Then he says, Son, and then he said unto me, these waters issue out towards the east country, and go down into the desert, and go into the sea, which brought me forth into the sea. The waters shall be healed, and it shall come to pass that everything that liveth, which moveth, whatsoever the river shall come, shall live. And there shall be a very great multitude of fish, because these waters shall come thither, for they shall be healed, and everything shall live whether the river cometh. And it shall come to pass that the fishers shall stand upon it from Egedel even unto Egalam. They shall be a place to spread forth nets. Their fish shall be according to their kin, as the fish of the great sea, exceeding. But the miry place thereof and the marshes thereof shall not be healed. They shall not be given salt. And by the river upon the bank thereof, on this side and on that side, shall grow all trees for meat, whose leaves shall not fade, neither shall the fruit thereof be consumed. It shall bring forth new fruit according to his months, because their waters they issue out of the sanctuary, and the
So hold on,
fruit.
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. So the water's coming from the sanctuary where the Torah is, and these goofy niggas gonna tell you there's some magic trees that niggas can eat from.
Exactly.
Goddamn.
Hold on. This might be a dumb question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. So are we saying that when they built the second temple, there was no river around the second temple?
Not
Not
this.
coming, no, not coming out of the temple.
Hold on. Miguel, let me say it again. Let me say it again one more time. These trees, right? This is Psalms 1, verse 1 through 3. The praises of a man are that he does not sit in the company of sinners or in the company of scorners, but his desire is in the Torah of Yahweh. And in his Torah he shall meditate day and night. And he shall be as a tree planted beside the river of water that bring forth its fruit in season, and its leaves do not wither away. Isaiah, read that one more time in Ezekiel.
And by the river upon the bank thereof, this side and on that side shall grow all trees for meat, whose leaves shall not fade, neither shall the fruit thereof be consumed. It shall bring forth new fruit according to his months, because their waters they issue out of the sanctuary, out of the
So
sanctuary.
so
Where the
the
water is
water is
coming
coming
from?
from the Torah. It's coming from the Torah in the sanctuary,
Doing
and the
that.
trees are actually the Torah keepers. So
What
hold
Huh,
you,
on, hold
that,
what
on,
that
hold
you,
on, hold
makes
on.
a whole lot of sense.
So the goofy niggas are gonna tell you there's magic trees that they can eat from and be healed because they don't believe in the Bible.
Word? Who would say
So
something
you
crazy
see,
like that?
Hey,
so you
brother
see
Isaac,
how the
Yashim.
spiritual, so you see how the spiritual is actually literal. You see what I'm talking about, McGill?
Yeah. Yeah, the only reason why I asked that question because if somebody's mistaken and thinks that this is talking about the second temple, I was just, just out of curiosity. Like I said, that's why it might be a dumb question. If there was a river or some waterways that they could point to and say, look, there's the waterway by the second temple. I was just curious.
yeah, okay, so let me reread
Well,
this
hold on,
part
real
for
quick,
you.
real quick, real quick.
Not you don't have to reread it, but you're welcome to
No,
do
I'm
it.
not gonna reread it all. I'm just gonna say where the water is coming from. So it says, Then he brought me back Then he brought me back out of the way of the gate northward, and led me about the way without unto the utter gate, by the way that looketh eastward. And behold, there ran out waters on the right side. And when the man had the line, oh no, I actually want to go.
No, just
Oh
read it
no,
where you was
it's
at.
actually the first verse. After he brought me again unto the door of the house. So you at the door of the house, behold, waters issue out from under the threshold of the house eastward, from the forefront of the house toward the east, and waters came down from under the right side of the house at the south side of the altar. So these waters are coming from the altar to sacrifice.
Gone. Hey, read where you was at right after the trees where it say the water's coming from the sanctuary.
Yeah, okay. Okay. And then it says, and by the river upon the bank of this side and on that side shall grow all trees for meat, whose leaves shall not fade, neither shall the fruit thereof be consumed. It shall bring forth new fruit according to his month, because their waters they issue out of the sanctuary, and their fruit shall be for meat, and their leaves thereof for medicine. Thus saith Yahweh, this shall be the border whereby ye shall inherit the land according to the 12 tribes of Israel. Joseph shall have two portions, and ye shall inherit it, one as well as the other, concerning the which I lifted up my hand to give it unto your fathers. And this land shall fall unto you for inheritance. And this shall be the border of the land towards the north side. From the great sea, the way of Hethlon, as the man go to Zedad, Hamath, Bath, Bathra, Simbra, which between the border of Damascus and the border of Hamath, Hazarah Hatakam, which is by the coast of Haran. And the border from the sea shall be Heranis, the border of Damascus, and the northward, the border of Hamath, and this is the north side. And the east side ye shall measure from Ran and Damascus, and from Gilead, and from the land of Israel by the Jordan, from the border unto the east sea. And this is the east side. And the south side, southward from Tamar, even to the waters of the strife in Kadesh, the river to the great sea. And this
Salaki,
is
you're
the
doing a good
south
job.
side.
Keep going. Keep going.
And this is the south side, southward. The west side also shall be the great sea. So the east side and the south side have the same border, the great sea, which is the Mediterranean. Till a man cometh over against Hamath, this is the west this is the west side. So shall ye divide this land unto you according to the tribes of Israel. And it shall come to pass that ye shall divide it by lot for an inheritance unto you and to the stranger that sojourneth among you, which shall beget children among you, and they shall be unto you as born in the country among the children of Israel. They shall have an inheritance with you
Which
among
one?
the tribes of Israel. And it shall come to pass that in what tribe the stranger sojourneth, there shall ye be
Wait, what do you say?
give him his inheritance, saith Yahweh.
Sometimes you want to ask why. Why me? That's real stuff right there. He a snitch, but he spoke real on that.
Hey,
Spoke real.
Soul, you still up,
Wait,
Soul?
Why him, babe?
Hey, Soul, you still up?
Um,
Soul done passed
Nah,
out.
he probably should.
Yeah,
I
we
don't
might
know.
probably lose this replay if you don't wake
He
up.
almost
But
shot that bitch.
He would get out so
all
bad.
right, I'm about to crank up a new room real quick.
Hey,
All right, what you
no.
got?
Hey, Metalect, Salaki. I want to read, not in front of all these niggas though, but I'm gonna read though. It don't matter. But I'm gonna read.
Read what?
Calm the hell down. No, I'm just talking.
What you
I'm
gonna
talking
read?
shit.
What? What
No,
you
I'm
gonna
talking
read?
shit. I'm just talking shit.
Oh.
Oh, man, soul brother, soul. You still in this? You did. Yes, Shim. You did.
Hey, so hold on, scatter, real quick. You know, I gotta get back to work.
All right,
Yeah.
go
So,
ahead.
what
Mm,
happened?
Go ahead, baby.
Fine. All praise. Yeah. So, just to recap real quick, this was a vision that was shown to Ezekiel. You guys read the vision, and had nothing to do with the second temple. It's so obvious. So, are you saying that people still try to connect those two together?
Well, that's because they don't really read
That's
the.
crazy.
You read the Apocrypha, you would know that this temple is not the exact same temple that
And
Zerubbabel built.
You funny as hell.
I don't know. I
You
kind of
funny
see
as
some.
hell.
I see some
Hey, you
Kushite
funny as
stuff
hell.
going on in your
They from New York,
PTR,
but they
bro.
don't know how we do.
Not to jump off topic, but I see some Kushite stuff going on in your PTR. You got the commit stuff
Yeah.
down there, and you got the Star of David up there. It sound like some, it look like some, when Joseph was ruling Egypt, something like the Rosses be
Yeah.
saying something like that. Moses
He
and
was
Pharaoh
saying they
Nation
ain't
or
like
something like
us.
that.
Are you talking about that picture that I
Yeah,
took?
why they got the Egyptian
To be
things
honest,
down there and they got the Star of David up there?
on his ass.
I ain't.
You ship
I
on
didn't
his
pay
head.
attention to that picture. To be honest with you,
Why he get on his
You
head?
ship
I
on
just
his
saw Royal
head.
House. I just saw the Royals,
Yeah, it
Israel,
like a fusion
the
going
world.
on between it's like a fusion going on between the whole Israelite and the Egyptian stuff, some
You ship on
Moses
his
and
head.
Pharaoh stuff.
Yeah, it's like storm messing up.
Hey, listen, I ain't even pay
Yeah,
that
yeah,
much attention to
I'm
detail.
finna go
I
to the other
appreciate
room though. I'll be right. Nah, let's go to the other room, bro. Hey, soul,
So wake up.
you sleep.
take your soul to the other room. So
Like 5, 10 minutes.
Well, you know, Israel was in Egypt. Maybe that's the reason why that's there. The Royals, Israel, the wise.